Ready.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. Think of all that times no one else. Every sprint in the summer. Every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering. Is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
I'm going to say if they play just the amount of games as the NBA, with the amount of hype that they have, if they just put some primetime games on after the NBA season, they would be a profitable company.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! That's game! Cordell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in. Your weakest link on the team, who is a complete liability,
is gone.
In the playoffs,
Out of there.
You lost nothing.
You know, people watch 90 plus minutes of a soccer game to watch Miami Dolphins Stadium get destroyed over one goal.
Yeah.
See, this is going to determine my running back position. The Bills. Ooh, I'll take Cook.
But we're going to get to our final play. This is absolutely the Duncan Summer League. This was just filthy. Check this out.
And they're trying to force a contested perimeter shot and keep it out of the lane. Long as Williams.
Till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are live at Military Broadcast Radio to the final whistle on a Monday football frenzy, boys.
Let's go.
The boys are back. Fall is in the air.
What's up?
The boys are buzzing. Coaches are getting fired. It's Monday morning, Denver, Colorado.
Thanks,
It's snowing. It's a beautiful day, boys.
I
It's
love the
Monday
weather.
football frenzy.
Man,
We're here for it.
the roads get
Let's
wet.
go.
The traffic gets worse. Be careful out there.
The Saints are a dumpster fire, caveman.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Broncos lost, Mercury, and the Packers lost. So all
Yeah,
three of our
all three
teams
of our
until the
teams,
final
boys.
whistle
We're in
all
are
going
shambles.
losers
through
today.
it.
We're in
So
shambles.
we're a little toxic
Yeah.
until the final
Oh,
whistle
we're
on
a little
MB
fired
Radio.
up.
I'm a
Seven
little
straight
upset.
losses. I'm gonna just lay into your favorite player this week.
I got
everybody.
Mountain Dew over here. No free shout outs. Mountain Dew. We're going to get into it.
PepsiCo. Hit us up.
What did you guys see from the weekend of football this weekend?
I saw our coach get fired because fans demand answers instantly, and you have to do something when it gets to that point. Even when half the team is in the medical center in Carolina right now, still.
Is Chris Olave okay?
He's still okay. He had
Okay.
full movement in all his extremities, but at the same time, this was his second week back from a concussion that he got against the Buccaneers, and he already got a concussion again. So
Yeah.
very dangerous. Very dangerous.
I think for him, his best thing is like, all right, I'm done for the rest of the season because you're clearly
We're-
there's no
Look
point back in
forward to
this
next
losing
year.
horse. I can't imagine he tries to stay in New Orleans unless there's a drastic quarterback situation.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's some
Rattler
drama.
wasn't getting him hurt.
Yeah, there's some
there's
drama
some huge
with,
drama.
Derek Carr and the former Saints wide receiver. Cayman, you got any more on that?
From what I'm hearing, it's really just Michael Thomas is coming out of woodwork now to say that Derek Carr sucks. That's
Has
really
he
all
even got a
he's
chance
saying.
to play with Derek Carr? Who's he to say that somebody sucks?
He did play.
It's
with
crazy.
him for
Last season,
like a
Michael
season,
Thomas
I
played
think.
10 games last year. That's
Quietly.
I didn't even know he played 10 games, and I pretty much watched every game.
I totally forgot. Yeah, he was playing last year.
I had absolutely no idea he did play last year.
Yeah.
I thought he had foot surgery and was done for the year like he did.
And last season it's going to be our best year with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. We were 9-8. That's the first winning record we've seen from Dennis Allen. So honestly, I don't see why they didn't fire him. I don't see, why they wouldn't go ahead and pull the trigger on that one. It's just, we talked about this before the show even started. Mickey Loomis did all that gum smacking in the press conference last January when he was saying that, like, to trust Dennis Allen. And he's saying Bill Belichick started his first 3 years, whatever record. All these legendary coaches started their careers off badly. You guys need to give him a chance. And he's like, I remember when we had Sean Payton. First year we went 10-6, but the next year we only won 7 games, and the year after that we won 6. So everyone was saying the same thing about him then. But at the same time,
That's a good point.
you got Drew Brees on your team and all these different pieces in
Yeah.
your offense. And now you don't have
Yeah.
you don't have a Hall of Fame coach. You don't have your Hall of Fame quarterback. What's happening now, Mickey Loomis? You're pissing away all Gail Benson's money. She inherited this team because her husband passed away. You know that, right? She's the owner of the Saints because she is living along the dream that her husband had. You're pissing away all this money on Chase Young in the offseason, restructuring all these deals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All these
forgot about
guys are getting their deals restructured so that we can still be 75 million in the hole. Like,
Dang, dude.
what's happening? And we're gonna get guys like Isaiah Foskey in the second round. That's just what's crazy to me.
Do you think the Saints are sellers at the trade deadline, Caveman?
I mean, they
They
got
gotta do
a
something.
day to do it.
We have a
That's
day to do
tomorrow.
it. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna do
It's
something,
Thursday is
I
trade
think-
deadline?
I think it's
I
like
think
the
you looked it up
5th
on
or
the last
No,
show.
no, it's tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Dang.
It
Well,
is, yeah.
If we're gonna do something, we got to do it now. And the biggest names that
Man.
for pieces is Lattimore. We talked about it before the show. Probably Cameron Jordan.
Yeah.
There's guys.
Thank you, Cam Jordan, for everything that you've done for this organization. Your name will probably be up in one of those gold letters one day.
Easily will have
Wherever
that
you want to go, you let
retired.
us know, and we'll send you there.
Do you think
Like,
they
at
try to
this
hold on
point-
to Alvin Kamara at all, or
He just
Oh, shit,
re-signed the 2-year. So
Hmm.
honestly, we were talking about this too. Might be a bigger trade piece because he's not just this rent-a-player for a year.
And
You
now you're going to
the-
get more production. Now you're going to get more value off of your player from draft picks because he's not a rent a player. He has more than, I'm not going to give up compensation when he still needs a contract. You know,
Exactly.
and he's a
Okay.
rent a player, so I'm not going to give you a second round pick for Alvin Kamara. I'm going to give you a 5th or a future 6th because now I have to re-sign him. I'm not going to give up picks and money for that player at that age, but I will give up a pick if he's under contract. You know, that sort of works out. It could work out in the favor. It helps the Saints long term, keep an elite player at his position, and it also, if you did make that decision to trade him, it makes it easier for other teams to take that player and give up a second and maybe a future 3rd, which I would take
All right.
in
well
an
then
absolute heartbeat.
The question there is what, because I think Alvin Kamara is obviously the best player the Saints have. He was
Easily.
Like they have some pieces. Granderson in the middle there,
He was pretty much all of their offensive production. He had
155 yards
on the ground. He had 60 receiving yards as well. So
Oh wow, yeah,
He did
accounted
pretty much
for-
everything.
2-back guy, yeah.
He did
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
he accounted for 205 of the Saints' 427 total yards. So
They had
that's
407 total yards and
427.
lost to the Carolina Panthers.
I'll let you get into that when we get into this Packers game.
Yeah.
But just remember how many yards the Saints got. Okay. Just remember how many yards the Saints got. We lost. We're going to go and talk about another team that did the exact same thing and lost. It's parity right here. But at least you guys have 3 losses though. Right?
Yeah.
Y'all have 3 losses compared to 7 straight. So, this is our worst start since
Oh my god.
dang.
To,
Dude, I don't even remember the last time
Yeah.
the Saints started this bad.
Like,
I was 1 year old.
this is
It was with
atrocious.
Mike Ditka. We went 3-13. I was a
When
year
you guys
old.
had Ricky Will, I remember when
I
you
was
guys
a
had Ricky
year
Williams,
old
too.
the last time we were this bad.
Oh man.
I mean,
Yeah,
Caveman
I was
wasn't
gonna say
even.
your whole life you basically
Yeah.
just know Drew Brees.
He wasn't even Caveman at that point.
Right.
No.
He was
Oh
just
my
little he
goodness.
was just little man. He was like little baby caveman.
Yep. I was
He was
one.
Cave Baby at that
Cave
point.
baby.
Cave
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Probably
So-
getting dressed up in Broncos gear.
The,
Oh,
Ugh.
man.
The Saints they outgained the Panthers by 150 plus total yards. They had over 150 yards on the ground, and they won the turnover battle. That formula had been in 275 games,
Here
had
we
been
go.
good for a 275-0 record. And then the Saints did it this Sunday, and now the record's 275-1 because they lost to the Panthers.
We're breaking records. You
Well-
know, another thing that sucks about the Saints, the ownership has enough to deal with right now because it's a paired ownership. It's Pelicans and the Saints are under the same ownership.
Mm,
Pelicans freaking suck too. There's a
Yeah.
lot that they have
Yeah.
on their plate right now.
Well,
10 penzies for 109 yards for the
Pelicans
Saints.
are getting
give
better.
the Pels some
Pelicans are
time
getting
to get
better.
healthy.
They need a healthy team.
Yeah,
Give Zion a full season. He's legendary.
exactly.
Wow.
But to be fair,
I wanna see,
Mickey
like-
Loomis, I need you to. It's gonna be coming down to what
I think you
picks you're
keep
making.
I think you keep Mickey Loomis.
He's got to stay.
He's shown an ability, like he has more hits than misses in the draft. I know you mentioned Isaiah
That's true.
Foskey. It's a great point. There is still some. I mean, like Alvin Kamara is a 4th-round draft pick
More
Yeah.
hits than
who's
misses.
played as a first-round level player his
his
entire
whole
career,
year,
essentially.
whole career.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I think there's still some good there. I know your offensive line needs some work. I'd give him a year to sort of like reconfigure. It's just tough coming up.
Yeah.
We mentioned the
hard.
Broncos before you got here. Like after you lost Peyton and Kubiak, it's just
Hard to
hard,
build
dude. You
back
lose all
up.
those players, man. Look at the Patriots now.
They suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the
That's-
Packers have had like this rebuilding, like retooling. I don't really even call it rebuilding. I just call it like retooling. You just got to figure out where you're weakest at, make the adjustments. You got to get out of cap hell. That's a big part of it. You can't do nothing if you're with your hands tied behind your back with the salary cap.
Nope.
You can't make any moves in free agency. You can't make any moves in the draft because every move that you move up higher in the draft, it's more cap money that you might not have. So I don't know.
Exactly.
But
You
moving on from the Saints, we're going to let Caveman stew over there.
Yeah.
That's
Mercury.
why it doesn't make sense. We got Chase Young. He's 25 years old. Yeah, that's crazy.
And he's been in the league,
He's
it
25.
seems like a decade and a half.
He's
and he's only
25.
25 and he's like out of his prime.
Yeah,
I don't
He-
think anybody considers him in his prime anymore.
he's dealt
Yeah.
with injury. Like that's obviously a very
That guy had
but
like
at the same time,
half of a
not
good
worth
season
our
his rookie year.
not
Yeah,
worth our money.
Yeah, right.
Not worth our money.
Well,
Coming to Jesus moment.
yeah,
for
the
Mercury
Broncos
over there.
got very humbled. Look, the Ravens, man, that was a fluke
Hey, they're
game.
one of the best teams.
That
in
was a
football.
fluke
It's
game
one
for
of-
them last week
It's a
against the
measuring
Browns.
stick. Hey, where do we measure versus one of the better teams in the league?
look, and here's my thing. We were competitive in that right up until we gave up that late touchdown to Zay Flowers, and it just all cascaded from there. Honestly, we might have had the chance to be leading at halftime. Couple of fourth downs that we went for it and we didn't get it. I like being aggressive. You're going into a very good team's house. You're gonna be aggressive and not be scared. But
it was 17-10.
Yeah, just some miscues. Little Jordan Humphrey. I want that guy arrested immediately and imprisoned.
Dude, how do you not catch that?
2 weeks in a row. He's the reason our opening drive has ended in a turnover.
How do you not catch that ball? He fumbled last week too.
He did fumble last
week. He fumbled last week, which led to a touchdown for the Panthers. That didn't really come back to bite us. And then the defense was able to bail us out with a sack and force a punt, so that didn't cost us any points. But this guy's just kind of turning into a liability. I don't like it. And I mentioned going for them fourth down.
He's a young player.
Yeah. I mentioned going for them fourth down and not getting it. And then also Troy Franklin and Bo Nix just cannot seem to hook up on these deep balls. This is
they got to get it locked in.
They're young player.
They were teammates at Oregon.
You're working through the leagues.
It's a different animal.
You got to get the timing.
I will say, against a pretty good defense.
He did have a drop, I think. I was going back and forth. Didn't he have a big time drop on a deep pass too?
That was he had two drops Franklin. A couple weeks ago. He had one against the Raiders and then one against
there was a big pass that
Panthers.
Got dropped that I
that might have been him too.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's been having some problems catching the ball.
Basically 4 touchdowns in
the
1 touchdown to end the half and then 3 consecutive in the second half.
If you're the Broncos,
put that game away.
It's you go down and you get a field goal to bring it within 7, and you're trying to trust, your top 5 defense to go out there and get a stop. And then it's like Bo Nix, he leaves the field and it's 17-10. By the time he retakes the field, it's 31-10.
Right.
That's
a great point. That's true.
Because
they scored at the end of the half, then got the ball and then scored again.
I can't even really put this on Bo. He missed a few throws. I'll say that, but
you can't put it on your rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
that's a team loss.
He made pretty minimal mistakes against a really good defense, or against a good team. And
Cortland Sutton had a great game.
Yeah,
they were connected.
Had you within 7,
122 yards. That's pretty good.
Clearly, the Ravens' offense was just better than our defense. I don't know, man. I don't know how you stop this Ravens offense because it's not like Lamar Jackson ran roughshod. He had 4 rushing yards. He just sat back there all day and picked us apart.
And even when your pressure gets to him, that's when he's just going to run all over you.
Yeah,
it's impossible to blitz that team.
Right.
Because they're a run first team. Then when you blitz a run, unless your guy just busts through the gap, you're going to get everybody has a matchup and you're just going to get perfectly blocked.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Hard to blitz those guys because it's like you don't want to overcommit to Derrick Henry because then Lamar is going the other way.
Yep.
And then people really we undervalue how good Lamar is as a passer. He didn't really have to do anything with his legs. He just sat back there all day.
Drop back.
And it's his ability to extend plays.
Totally.
Even when we were getting pressure.
He threw the ball 19 times, 16 completions for 280 and 3 touchdowns. That's just efficiency.
We were only able to sack him 1 time, and he just was able to sit back there, extend plays. You got a lot of speed in that Ravens receiver core. It's hard to cover that for a while.
They're so fast. You get tired.
Yeah,
too many 3 and outs.
When Lamar's holding the ball for 12 seconds and Zay Flowers zipping around out there.
He's really running roughshod, and Lamar just gets to stand in the pocket and watch.
Yeah, so it was just clear. Vance Joseph, some of the stuff he was doing early in that scheme was kind of working, at least slowing them down a little bit. But I think we kept not converting on the opportunities we had. And it just snowballed and cascaded out of control into a blowout loss where, heck, even if we, get half of these fourth down plays, we take away just 2 of these drops and, just get a couple more of these conversions. All of a sudden, this could have been a much closer game. But
It's
no,
one-
that's
it's one of those
flashes.
games, a young team versus a veteran team.
yeah.
Dude, these games are so important, dude, for like the long term building of like, because like it's a great point, man. Like, a couple plays here and there, you sort of almost in this weird way beat yourself, even
Yeah.
though they obviously kicked the crap out of you at 3 touch, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can turn the film on, like, oh, we can compete.
Yeah.
We can play to the level of this team. We know we can. We just got to fix this and that, and we're going to be right back in the ball game.
I really didn't.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't.
Even after coming out of halftime, down 14, I didn't feel like we were out of it. But then, the Ravens went and scored them. Like, oh God, like I still had like that small, like, well, I mean, the Ravens have blown some leads. Maybe we got it. But then we went 3 and out, and I was like, all right, well, it kind of feels like the Ravens have taken control of this game. Yeah. Like, I want to talk like Derrick Henry. We had him pretty bottled in the first half.
Yeah.
But then, I
Didn't
mean,
really do
the
much.
Ravens just controlled the ball the entire second half pretty much.
Second half, 2 touchdowns.
Just
It felt
too tired.
It
for
felt
me.
like we played like 5 minutes on offense in that second
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just ran all over
I did
us.
have it here. Hold on. Time of possession. Baltimore. Ooh, this is interesting. I like when Covers breaks this down by quarter. In the second half, the Baltimore Ravens had 21. They had a total of 31-51 of time of possession. The Denver Broncos had 28-09. So that's not significant. In the second half, though, Baltimore, out of their 31 minutes and 51 seconds of time of possession, in the second half, it was 21 minutes and 10 seconds of time of possession.
Dang.
That is the whole second half, and it is over.
I mean, coming out of halftime, we had run, I believe it was 43,
It was
44 plays to the Ravens 27.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was like we had almost, we were
It
close
was
to double
inverted.
their
It was-
plays. But
It's inverted because in the first half, the Denver Broncos had 28 minutes of total game of time of possession. In the first half, 17 minutes and 47 seconds of that was the Denver Broncos time of possession.
Dang.
so
that's a lot.
Even though we
Tale
got
of two halves in that game.
even
for
though we
sure.
got blown out by 31 points, it's hard to not feel like I don't feel like too bad about it because it's just a young team.
Young
where
team,
we
brother.
just didn't get, we weren't able to convert things that like veteran players would probably do a better job of converting on. This could have been a real competitive game, and it got away from us, and it snowballed. But at least it showed me the signs that this is a team that can be competitive.
Yeah,
with
I think
some
so,
of the
yeah.
There's
rest.
flashes.
Dude, and
Well,
you're
there's
not out of the
flashes.
playoff race,
No,
brother. The
that's-
AFC is wide open.
Still got a
We're still
winning
here.
record.
Plenty of time.
Even if we lose next week to the Chiefs, we have so many winnable games coming up. For some reason, Sean Payton, he's just kicking ass against the NFC South. So I think I'm not too
He always
worried
did that.
about Atlanta.
He always did that.
Atlanta,
Don't be
after
worried.
KC, you have Atlanta, Vegas, Cleveland, Indy before you play the Chargers, Cincy, KC.
He's known for
I
that.
mean,
We have
if
4
you
straight
win-
NFC South.
If you beat
titles.
Atlanta, beat Vegas, beat Cleveland, you're going to give yourself against Indianapolis and the Carolina Panthers to possibly have a 9-8 record or 10-7 record.
Yeah.
I mean, and then do
Y'all
you
could
even
get
think
in
that the
for sure.
that the Chargers are all that better than you? I don't.
They're
That's a winnable game.
yeah.
And it's going to be a home game. It's in LA, and they
That's
have no
true.
home field advantage.
They have no fans.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Chargers
So-
are starting to scare me a little bit. They're really starting to put it together. Their defense, I think, is quietly underrated. They're one of the top scoring defenses in the league. And they're just a team that really runs the ball really well, especially if that O line is healthy. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. That's it's tough to generate pressure on them. But I do think our like on paper, like our
They're also
secondary,
5-3.
our secondary should be able to, neutralize their wide receiver core.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they have nobody.
But
I mean, I think you can blitz them, and I really like the Denver Broncos
Yeah.
defense versus the Chargers offense. I can't lie.
I think it's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
going
I
to
think
be
that's a
different
favorable
game.
matchup for the Denver
well, especially
Broncos.
Broncos
what
matchup.
killed us in our first game against them is that our offense was just totally inept. It wasn't like our defense was struggling
Yeah.
against them, but I mean, we
Because
just
before
it was
you
like
guys
pretty
played
weak
the Saints
schedule,
and
too.
figured it
Yeah,
out on
sure.
offense.
Bo Nix had 27 passing yards going into the fourth quarter, so it was
Yeah.
like we couldn't move the ball at all, and that just
That was
kept
like his
giving us-
third game or whatever. That was like your second or third game of the year, right?
That was the week before they played the Saints and actually figured stuff out.
Yeah.
Because our defense is terrible.
It was like coming off of that, like
Yeah.
Jay Murray threw for 60 yards against the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think the offense is starting to get a little more
Chargers.
figured out. Bo Nix is starting to come into his own as a passer. So it's going to be a
dog
totally
fight.
different game.
It's
This
That's
gonna
gonna
time.
be a
Yeah.
dog
It's gonna
fight
be a fun
because
Yeah. Now that
they have
I'm hyped.
Cleveland, New Orleans, Arizona, and then Denver. They finish out with KC, Pittsburgh. Last 2 games, Panthers and Vegas. That's going to come down right to that last week.
Oh yeah,
to
that would
see
be
who
a good
may-
battle for second. I
think
like
that's
that.
going to be a good
Yeah.
battle.
I
dude.
like
And
that.
then maybe the last playoff spot out of the AFC is that 7th seed
Potentially, yeah.
Possibly.
could be coming out of the AFC West. My friend.
Possibly. I like that. Hey, well, I mean, if they get in there, that's a good first year for Bo Nix.
Oh, totally.
And
dude.
Sean Payton can get a little less hate.
What are we
'cause
doing? Yeah,
The fans were really giving it to him.
it was like one
Grab
loss,
your
and
paper towel
and
real
all of a
quick.
sudden, one like caveman's gonna go clean up.
Got-
Freaking Mercury had a mercury
spill.
spill over there. But I think it's time. I got to get into something, man. It's weighing heavy on my chest. I've been so mad this morning driving in. It's a beautiful weather. I love football weather. Oh, nice. Yeah,
That's how we're all feeling this morning.
It's just sad, man.
Yeah.
It's just sad. It's just sadness.
It's a tough
pain.
weekend for the
It's
boys.
a tough weekend for the boys, dude.
I didn't even have C who was on the bye this week, so I didn't even get to
Yeah.
like feel good about the
Yeah.
college team. You know,
Shout out C Buffs being bowl eligible. Gonna make some weight. With
we're
we're gonna get into
we're
it
gonna
with the college.
because they have a shot now. In the
They
Big
got
12
it
as well.
in the Big 100. That door is
Carnage
wide
and
open now,
chaos.
brother. Karma, yeah,
You want it.
carnage and chaos, boys.
But
You said
Jimmy,
it.
he's got a couple of rants to go on about his
I
Packers
gotta.
Yes, he
So
does.
and
the
the Bears.
the Packers now the Bears are just a clown show organization. They're my rant of the week, but the Packers Packers are 6-3. I'm an owner over here. I have to make some phone calls, boys. I have to
right.
I have to call up Matt LaFleur because we practiced in the rain all week and we showed no ability to play in the rain, and we were the home team. The Detroit Lions, who are a dome team, and I say, oh, it's not going to travel. The dome team played better in outdoor conditions
Yeah.
than the team who plays in outdoor conditions
Can I-
does in a dome.
Can I just say something real quick here? I
Say
think
it,
the
dude.
Lions took that personally, that everyone was talking about them being a dome team and that they can't play
Well,
in adverse weather.
They did it last year against us. They beat us in Lambeau in a freaking in a rainstorm too, and but then it's like then we go into a dome. I think we are a team that's built for a dome with our 5 wide receivers and
Yeah.
tight end. I think our passing attack is so versatile with their secondary that's kind of banged. They have no DB over there that scares me. That this guy is going to get shut down. And it leads me to this, guys. I was so mad that Matt LaFleur didn't scheme up somebody after Brian Branch got kicked out of the. We just didn't scheme anybody open. And we sort of played this like football game where we were just like, nah, we'll wing it. Nah, we'll just figure it out. We had 108 yards of rushing offense with Josh Jacobs at halftime. 108
Yeah.
yards. By halftime, we also had 8 penalties and 4 drops. 3 of them were on
Jeez.
third down. 1 of them was for a touchdown, which we had to settle for a field goal. We also dropped another touchdown in the fourth quarter and threw a pick 6 and missed a field goal.
Dang.
We shot ourselves in the foot playing in a bad weather game when we practiced in bad weather. How? And then you can see pregame where Amon Ross shows up to the game wearing a Green Bay Sucks hoodie, and we didn't take, and we just came out and said, you know what, we're just gonna go out here wing it with
Right.
empty formations, 5 wide receivers when our guys are dropping the ball.
Jimmy, you had Lions fans in the stands. They were wearing cheese
cheese
grazers
They've been
Great.
doing
all
that.
day.
They've been doing that since like Ndamukong Suh. They've been doing that for a long time. And then it's this weird thing that happens. Like, I don't know what it is. Going back to like even when Aaron Rodgers was on the team, like even with A-Rod, we always lost home games against the Detroit Lions. And then we go into Detroit
And just smack
and
him.
just smash them, dude. It's like they beat us in these weird with bad weather. Like we had like Aaron Jones had this was years back now. I think this was pre-COVID, the year before COVID, like 2019. Aaron Jones, young player, he had 4 fumbles at home against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions ran roughshod over us, like 36-6 or something, kicked the crap out of us. It was like week 3. We go into Detroit and Aaron Rodgers in 1 quarter puts up 5 passing touchdowns and the game's over on Monday Night Football with Alan Lazard. and the fans were leaving by the third quarter.
Oh man.
So I'm like, this just
killer
goes
right
back
there.
to me. I'm
That's
like,
a
how
killer.
do we lose games that we shot ourselves in the foot with penalties, drops, a terrible pick six. Our Jared Goff, when we played soft zone coverage. We did not try to stop the run at all. They gashed us on the ground, and their offense did not. Jared Goff didn't have to do anything to win this game. If you blitz Jared, the cat's out of the bag with this guy, and teams just don't do it. And for whatever reason, I don't understand why it can be on film where if you rush 5 guys and muddy the box, Jared Goff will take a sack and he will turn the ball over. And we just didn't do it. We showed it in Detroit last year on Thanksgiving where he had 4 fumbles and a pick 6 and another interception. He had 6 turnovers on Thanksgiving. Forced. We just said, no, we're not going to blitz them.
That's what I was
We're
going
going
to
to play
say,
3 down linemen in the first half in a 6-man box with David Montgomery on 3rd and 1 in the red zone.
Yeah, they were giving a lot of soft box.
We gave up 2 rushing touchdowns on 4th down.
Oh man.
And one of them was on 4th and 8.
Oh my God.
Dang.
In the red zone, trying to be cute in the first quarter. That was their first touchdown. That was their opening drive. 4th and 8, walked right in.
Dang.
Also, another thing that was killing you guys, the snap issues with Jordan Love.
Our starting center was out. We had 4 defensive backs out. It can't be an excuse. All these guys are playoff winners. Next man up, you have to. Myers lost 6 games. We had Elton Jenkins, who's sort of like our multi-tool guy. He's been an all-pro. His rookie year, he played center and made rookie all-pro and a Pro Bowl his rookie year at center. We kicked him to the left guard because that's where he wants to play. We gave him a big contract. That's where he's been at. We lost our starting center to this game with a hand injury. I think he'll be okay, but I think he just had to play in this bad weather game. Next week's our bye week. So I think we're just sort of holding some guys out because next week's our bye week, and then we have the Bears, and that's basically another bye week.
Yeah.
So it's basically like, all right, we're just going to get our guys ready.
Get some relax.
But we showed no freaking backbone in this game where I'm like, we've shown that we blitz way more. You know, that Vikings game, we just blitzed the entire second half, and the Minnesota Vikings on offense did nothing. We blitzed, what's his name in the Tennessee Titans? We blitzed, the CJ Stroud did absolutely nothing on offense. We had 1 blitz in the second half, and it went for a sack of 8, and they had to punt the ball. We got the ball back and scored a touchdown. Dontavian Wicks dropped 2 touchdowns. It was self-inflicted. Tucker Kraft reaching out on a 3rd and 5 with 1 hand, skips off of it. How about we try to catch the ball with 2 hands in a freaking Hurricane Mercury? I don't know.
On 3rd down, too.
On 3rd down and 5.
Let's catch it
wide
with 2
open,
hands.
brother.
I think the Lions are starting to have this sort of aura about them where, it's like guys are getting like anxious and antsy against them. It's like, and they're beating themselves.
Themselves, dude.
It's like what people are doing against the Chiefs, like because the Lions they're just rolling, and it's like,
I don't get it. Like they're not physical. We ran all over that defensive dude. Brian Branch took a targeting penalty because he made a business decision on Josh Jacobs on the previous play where he rushed for 18 on 1st down. And then the next play, there's that pass play, and he had to because he completely whiffed on Josh Jacobs. And the only reason why Josh Jacobs didn't walk into the end zone, he got guy dove at his foot in a rainstorm and tripped him up. It's a walk-in touchdown in a dome game. So I mean, and then the next play he comes down, defenseless player, another drop by Dontavian Wicks, and he gets headhunt. Out the game. And then the backup safety, we didn't put Tucker Kraft on that guy. Hey, bring this guy down in the box and make him cover. No, we're not going to scheme anybody open. We didn't even try to play in a rain game. And then I don't know what we were doing practicing. Because in practice, it's we're doing all these guys are giving rah-rah speeches and, Josh Jacobs, if I have to take over, hand it off to me 45 times and all this. Well, we tried, and that didn't work, and we tried to be cute. 5 wide receivers on 9 plays in the first half. What are we doing,
that's
Matt
crazy.
LaFleur? Trying to get – we didn't scheme up Jaden Reed. Where's Jaden Reed? And if you can't scheme up Jaden Reed and it makes Romeo Dobbs, who doesn't like his thing in the whatever his little deal was when he sat out a game because he doesn't like his thing in the his role in the pat. Dude, we traded Devontae Adams. If it makes you mad that Jaden Reed's getting the ball, we'll trade you to the
Reed had the most receiving yards
he
on
did.
the team, but
and we just stopped going to him.
I think a lot of it was
He had
also
5
garbage
catches.
time though too. Like I feel like Reed was non-existent when the game was close, and then when the Lions were up by 21, then that's when
they were trying to. They're throwing the ball with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like they didn't quit. You know what I mean? Like they gave us the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter trying to throw the ball, just like we were. And they showed, because we finally bowed up and played a 5-man front on defense and stopped their run. Why we weren't doing that in the first quarter. Don't know why it took us 3 quarters to adjust in a rainstorm. And it's like we didn't even practice in the rain.
Yep.
What are we doing? Still 6-3 going into the bye week. We got the Bears. Last year, and I was telling Caveman, dude, literally, like, look at the schedule last year. We lost a rainstorm game in October to the Detroit Lions, go on a bye week. After the bye week, and we lost humiliating. We got blown out by the Lions last year. Punked in our own building. Lost by 3 touchdowns. We go into the bye week. After that bye week game, we lost 2 games. One of them was the playoff game. So we go on a run. Can we sort of, use this game like you go into the bye week with like a sour taste in your mouth? You're 6-3. This time last year going into our bye week, 2-6. Still made the playoffs. So we're ahead of schedule. We just got to figure some things out. I'm absolutely livid at our play calling. I'm absolutely livid at that awful pick. Because take away that pick 6, it's a 17-14 ball game.
Yep.
That's true.
Going into the fourth quarter. It's a football game.
Yep.
That was
we
just
just
a dumb
shot our
decision by Love.
He's just trying to make a play. We're already down 17-3.
I think it was a blown up screenplay.
It was a blown up
and
screenplay.
I think that's just some of the inexperience of being a younger quarterback, where it's like you just chuck it at
Just
your
chuck it
guys
at
at the feet.
Throw it at the
You can't
ground.
just loft that up there.
I'm okay with picks when they're like that long punt, basically. You throw a 40. That doesn't really
But,
hurt.
I mean,
you
you-
can't throw a pick 6 in a home game in a rainstorm and think you're going to win.
You threw that to a defensive back who he's behind
Everybody.
your whole
That was
team.
Kirby
It's
Joseph
you.
randomly flew in.
It's pretty
And if
much
it wasn't for the Green Bay Packers, I don't think Kirby Joseph is an NFL. Did you see what they put up after he had that pick 6? He has 4 interceptions in his career, 3 of them for pick 6.
Mhm.
All of them against the
All
Green Bay
against the
Packers.
Packers.
3 of them against Aaron
They're
Rodgers.
keeping-
2 of his pick 6s are against
That's
A-Rod.
crazy.
This one is against Jordan Love, and Kirby Joseph also picked off Jordan Love last year in the regular season.
They're
That's
keeping bro in
crazy.
the league.
Yeah,
We're
they
the
really
only
are
reason
keeping
he
him a
gave up.
job.
We were completing 7.7 yards of air time. We were trying to throw the ball like literally downfield the whole game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, how about we just run some of this boot action that we were running with Malik Willis? We can't do that. And if Jordan Love is too hobbled to run that simple boot action, he shouldn't be playing. You just gave the guy $50 million. I don't give a shit that it's don't sue me, Stokely. Sorry. I don't care that it's the Detroit Lions.
If he's injured,
If
just let
he's
him be
hobbled,
injured.
dude, we just gave you a bag. I'm not worried about this year.
Just let him be injured.
Dude, we got the bye week. Then we got the Bears. Come back to the Bears
and
and
kick the crap out of the
and
Bears.
It's a
and
bye
we'll
week
move on.
anyway. You get to knock the dust off, and you get to go in the second half of the season completely healthy.
Yeah, you just move on. You kick the crap out of the Bears. And you go
Absolutely
on,
pissed.
play them in Detroit. Kick the crap out of them. Probably then too. Because there's a lot of parity. A lot of parity.
You know,
And
we
also a lot of crappy
completely
teams this
dominated,
year.
and I know yards matter and all this. We had 418 yards.
Here
of
it
offense.
is. Here it is.
418 yards of offense.
And we can go back to that Saints
And
game too.
I don't even know the Saints. Same thing. Do yards matter, Caveman?
The-
They don't keep yards, brother.
The
They
freaking
keep
score
points.
does. The
They
score
keep
matters.
points.
You got to get in the end zone.
You got to score touchdowns.
I mean, you guys outgained the Lions by a lot. They only had 261
Buddy,
total
yeah.
yards.
We
And
were.
again, it just shows
We
you.
threw the ball 51 times or whatever it was. I don't know the exact number. I think that might be an exaggeration, but it
It
seems
was,
like every play we threw the ball.
39 times.
That's
Love
a
had
lot
39
in a
pass attempts.
rainstorm,
Oh,
dude.
in the monsoon.
That's
I
a
mean, it was
lot.
That
coming
is-
It's a
down.
lot
It
for the
was
rain. It was
awful. weather.
pouring.
And we practiced in that. We weren't doing that crap in practice. You play to win the game.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
we did not play to win that football game on Sunday. Still 6-3. A lot of football left. My rant's done. Quickly onto the Chicago Bears. I'm going to bring up a stat that
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
blew my mind, guys. Real
Pull
quick.
it up.
The Chicago Bears are a freaking joke, Caveman. I saw a guy on ESPN on 670 The Score. Shout out 670 The Score. You guys are absolute clown shows over there. That said, we should be farther along. Exact quote. I have it memorized. The Bears should be farther along with Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams than they should be. And I thought to myself immediately, Mercury, who convinced you that you should be farther along with a rookie quarterback? Who did you play and beat that convinced you that you shouldn't be losing the games like you lost against the Arizona Cardinals? Your team has been awful for a
Yeah.
decade. And now all of a sudden you're on this, like, because you got Caleb Williams and beat the Panthers and the Patriots. You're on this level that, like, oh, we shouldn't. Bro, your players are calling out coaches and your coaches are calling out players. You have no organization.
It's dysfunction city right there.
You've never had an organization. We talk about organizations win Super Bowls. Top down, absolute. Who allowed the guy to, like, because my thing, Eberflus is going to get fired. Who hired him to begin with?
Exactly.
Who made the decision to bring him back for this year with Caleb Williams? That guy who made that decision should be fired.
I think it's Ryan Pace still, isn't it?
It's Ryan Poles. They're
Ryan
so
Poles,
cheap.
yeah,
They didn't
Poles.
even want to change the first name on the door of the GM's office because they're too fucking poor. Don't sue me, Stokely. They just wanted to, it'll be cheaper to change the last name instead of changing the full name.
Jimmy, just take a look at the comment back there.
Yeah. I am, Kyle.
Baby covered.
I am,
We're
brother.
all triggered this week.
Dude, I am.
We're all
Did you
triggered.
watch that
It's a rough
Kyle
week for all.
tune in? I was the only one. On our pick'em, by the way. I'm the only. I was an idiot right before halftime. I went to church. I worked a church event, and I was like, I had a feeling from the football guides. I was like, the Packers are gonna win, baby. So I changed my freaking pick'em. I was the only idiot that picked the Packers over the Lions in our pick.
I was kind of surprised to see that everybody
And I
was
picked
like,
them on the show. I picked the
Yeah.
Lions on the
I
show.
thought I picked the Packers. Honestly, I was when
I'm
I
glad
was
you didn't,
watching the
caveman.
game. I was like, did I pick
glad
the
you did.
Packers?
I'm glad you
Who
did.
did I pick to win this?
Also, we got Doug from Bourbon and Ball, 13-1. This
Yeah,
week.
he killed us this
Yeah,
week.
yeah. Good job. Good job.
Me and
And
HG, we're
our
11
number-
and
our-
3 though,
brother.
Our
HG.
number one fan, Sabrina, 12-2. The only reason she's got 2 losses,
So
she
you
picked her
picked the
2.
Panthers. All right.
She picked
yeah,
her 2
I see
favorite
how it
teams
is.
to win, the Broncos and the Cowboys.
Mm,
They
yeah.
both
They
they
both
both
let her
blew
down.
it this week. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now
that's I got a thing I want to. The Bears are just an absolute clown show, and if you guys can believe this, there's this stat that came up. I don't see where it went. Was this it? Nope.
Oh, it's remember we uploaded it into the other studio. You'll have to just upload it again on overlays real quick.
Gotcha. Well,
It's
we can give that the
Eberflus's
stat.
record in away games with the Bears. We're gonna get
On
that up here
Sundays.
for you
We're
guys
gonna get
on
that.
Sundays.
Yeah.
Which
Man.
is it like?
I don't think Caleb Williams should have struggled this much against the Cardinals defense.
Take the banner off. There we go. Now I
So
can
the
see it
Bears
online.
are 0-18 on Sunday road games under head coach Matt Eberflus. They've won road games in London and England and Mexico. They haven't won true road games in another person's building on the
That's
road on
bad.
Sunday. Don't know if you
That's
know
bad.
this. A lot of football games played on Sunday.
Yeah,
Sundays on the-
majority of them.
The majority of games actually are.
You're,
And
you're
they got
guaranteed at least 8.
and last year they had to go like they lost a crazy game to the Denver Broncos in Denver.
no, that was in Chicago.
Was that in Chicago? Oh, I
They
thought that
blew
was in
that
Denver.
at
Oh,
home.
so at home they're blowing.
That's even
It's
worse.
not even just home games. I misspoke. Jimmy covers the name. I'm triggered
That's
still.
even worse.
Dude, that absolutely blew my mind. And they came out lifeless. I saw a stat too. I was telling Caveman Mercury, or I think when you were just walking in, Caleb Williams was 0 for 9 on passes longer than 25 yards downfield, and none of them landed
Inbounds.
Inbounds, brother. None
I
of
mean,
them landed in an area where a receiver could catch them.
Dude, of all the rookie quarterbacks we've seen play this year, Jaden Daniels, obviously the best. And I
say
think
Bo Nix.
you got to go Bo Nix
I
at
go
number 2.
Bo Nix.
Dude, from what
Gotta
we've
go
seen
Bo
on
Nix.
an
Drake
early
May
action,
has shown a couple flashes. I got Bo Nix because he's done it and he's
yeah.
won a game.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I put Drake May at 3 though, because like honestly, from the few games I have seen, he's at least like even in like bad losses, he's still putting up some decent numbers. I mean, Caleb Williams is playing he's playing like lesser defenses with more weapons. Like Drake May, he's throwing to like Demario Douglas and like
Absolutely no, me and you,
dude's,
bro.
the dude's last. I only know his last name is pronounced
Kyle's out
Booty.
there. Kyle's out there shaving points for the Patriots.
Exactly. Like
He's out there.
if you could
We got
name, if
Ben
you could
Nolan.
name 3 wide receivers
Yeah.
on the Patriots,
We'll give you a signed Stokely helmet by Stokely if you can tell me who's catching the football for the
Yeah.
New England Patriots.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
Caleb Williams. I know that like the Bears aren't the perfect team, but I mean, come on, you have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze. and you are
when I
you're looking bad every
Don't
week.
forget Swift.
it's
Don't
Yeah.
forget that running back.
college
They're
to the
stacked.
NFL. If you want to have a surefire way to see if a guy is going to translate, only watch the film of quarterbacks on third down in college. Drake May on third down in college, electric. Jaden Daniels won a Heisman because of what he did on third and fourth down, extending plays with his feet, and making throws on time, in rhythm, inside the pocket, delivering when you have to. Extending the plays, a lot of guys can do that. Johnny Manziel could do that. Not the NFL level, could do it in college. Does it translate?
Welcome in,
Absolutely
Matthew.
not. Absolutely not. What they do on third down in college, Caleb Williams on third down in college, one of the worst quarterbacks in college football.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a reason why his team never won 10 games. He never won a Pac-12. He never even went to a Pac-12 championship game.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? Drake May at least was a shining star on a very weak, again, 3 NFL players, including his running back at USC in the NFL right now. Jordan Addison caught a touchdown last night. Got to play with him pretty good. I wonder if Drake May had that at North Carolina, how that would have translated. I think he had an offensive lineman and a running back, Drake May, go to the NFL, but late round picks. Nobody dominated. Jane Daniels, obviously, you know, is
Playing
who he is.
Like, and May
But
had to play against like Clemson teams that had like, you know,
Loaded
stacked.
defenses, stacked.
20
Florida
NFL
State.
players.
And they like to go to like North Carolina is one of those prime teams that go to like road. They played Notre Dame, and Notre Dame got mopped up by like 45. Shut up, Marcus Freeman.
Mhm.
And we made Drake May. I was like, that guy's not draftable, but just because of how we looked against Notre Dame. He threw 4 picks. That's the only reason why Notre Dame beat North Carolina then. And so, but going back, I'm like, dude, Caleb Williams, I thought he was going to be a prime guy, dude. Where like you could draft him. I thought the Bears were going to be half smart. First overall pick, your team's crap. You give this illusion to your fan base that we're being aggressive because we got Swift, we got some off. You kept the same trash offensive lineman. That was your problem with going back to Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
You kept this. Nate Davis has been there for 5 years with Mitch Trubisky and then through Justin Fields. And for some reason, you were like, hey, this guy was so bad for these 2 guys. You know what we're going to do? Third time's a charm.
Let's keep him.
Let's keep him for Caleb frickin' Williams, who can't I mean, he can extend, but I don't think he's as good as of a scrambler as Justin Fields ever was.
Also, the Chicago defense, that was at least like one of the bright spots of the team, is just falling apart the past 2 weeks.
They finally played somebody to run the frickin'
Oh,
football.
dude, the Cardinals just had their way with them. What was James Conner?
Right before
like
halftime, had a
107
huge
yards.
touchdown run.
Dude, how do you in back-to-back weeks give up a huge touchdown in the half situations? I mean, you lost the game on the Hail Mary, and then you're in a game. It's at least close. It's like 14-9. You could go.
It is.
You could be down 14-9 at halftime, and you give up a 60+ yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Who the hell is DeMarcado? I thought it was James Conner.
Amari DeMarcado.
It was
Who
a-
the
it was a
heck
random
is
guy.
that guy?
It was a random guy.
Like
They just, oh my gosh, the Bears are gonna bear, baby.
yeah,
It's
The
like
Bears are gonna bear, baby.
it's like the
3
Niners
field
getting
goals.
touchdowns with Isaac Guerrero. Like, how does that even happen?
They threw the ball 41. Well, we know it doesn't work, Chicago. Chucking it 41 times into zone coverage with a quarterback. 217 yards and no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Kyler Murray was 13-20 and 154 yards. I mean,
Hey, ball
Game
control.
manager is
Game
sad.
manager. Call of
Just
Duty came out too, I think, right?
run it down.
yeah, the
their
new
throats.
Call of Duty
Yeah.
came out, so I expected
My
him to
boy-
be terrible.
My boy came out with Call of Duty on his mind and just mopped up the Chicago Bears defense.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a 6.
The Bears gave up a rushing touchdown to a tight end. Trey
Oh
McBride
my
had a rushing
God.
touchdown, dog.
It showed it, even his stat line, like his stats when the game comes out compared to when there's not a new Call of Duty game coming out, and it is a drastic
yeah.
difference in his stats. Like
Huge.
it's not just a coincidence.
His rookie
anymore,
year, it
dude.
was like
It's not just a
pre-Call of Duty, it
coincidence.
was like 1,000 yards
Cooking.
passing and like 9 touchdowns in 4 games.
Didn't
look,
they
we-
start 9-1 that year?
We give Kyler a lot
his
of crap,
first
but
year?
he's just thinking about his future, all right? He's got Call of Duty
True.
streamer
True.
on lock when he gets done
When
with
Get
the
him
NFL.
pro.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Get him
he might be
pro.
able to go all these hours he's putting in on COD. He could go pro. So I don't.
Dude,
You want to give Kyler Murray crap? But he's thinking about his
154 yards
future,
and no touchdowns, and they win the game by 20.
right?
Like
If you
It-
just showed me,
154 yards passing and you win by 20, I would have called you an absolute lie, especially against the Bears, how their defense is sort of like in that mode where they're good, but they're bad at the same time. But
Yeah.
right now they got some good stats,
I mean,
so they're playing good football.
If you told me, okay, your QB threw for 154 yards, just still won the game, I'm like, oh, so what was this like,
17
a
to
garbage
10.
like 12 to
Yeah,
7
12
game?
to
You know, like
7.
you won by kicking like
13.
4
4
field goals. Oh no, you scored 29 points and won by 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. You
All
know,
right.
and then
Gave it
another
to you.
team can score, go off 440 yards and not score anything and lose.
Yeah.
NFL's wild. The polls are reversing. Mercury's in retrograde. Arizona Cardinals are leading the division. The Commanders are good. The Detroit Lions are freaking 7-1 when I don't even to me, it's unfathomable that they're 7-1 right now. Just because I've watched my entire life of them being garbage, and they're still going to be garbage. Their team, they're just on a roll right now. And for I think you almost had like a perfect analogy. Teams are sort of like playing like this weird, afraid ball, like the Kansas City Chiefs. They've absolutely name me a player that you're like, everybody on the. I can name 3 players on the Denver Broncos defense that would start for the Detroit Lions right now.
I think all 3 of our starting defensive backs would
And that's
start
not
over
even-
any of their
And that's not
DBs.
even naming your freaking pass rusher, that guy in the middle.
Zach Allen,
I
99.
think so 99,
Big
yeah.
white
Big-
99. Yeah.
He's
Zach
obviously
Allen.
starting for the Detroit. That's a cookie. That's made for that. And they
I
have
mean-
nobody in the middle there for Detroit. Nobody.
Nick Bonito probably starts over most of their other the
Yeah.
Lions edge rushers.
Yeah.
Dude, they're rolling out Alex Anzalone as their starting middle linebacker,
who-
who used to play for Caveman,
The Saints.
the New Orleans Saints.
I mean, who do
How
you
is
he's
want?
been on a
that guy
million.
not getting targeted
He's
against
been
a
on a
tight end?
million teams.
Well, split him out on a tight. Make the numbers work where you scheme that player when they're on the field this way.
And I
When
think
is that going to happen?
it
Yep.
just goes like right now the Lions just from like all the way to at the top of the organization all the way down to the bottom, they're just sound, and it's a real collective. That's why
You're
they're
right.
so good. I mean, like
You're not wrong there. Yeah.
they're not relying too heavily on one person or the other.
You're
I mean,
not
they
wrong.
really
brother.
they're
banded
they're just dominating and doing everybody's doing their job to the highest level. Like the Water Boys are professional hydrators.
Dude,
They're keeping
shout
those
out
players
their player development thing.
Yeah.
They have no injuries really over there that are like
strength and conditioning.
obviously. I mean, the Hutchinson. I'm not
That's
even
the
gonna-
only.
That's
injury.
a that's an outlier. That's an out.
freak injury.
That's a freak.
man.
freak
Like
oh
the
my God.
hamstrings were your weak body and your shoulder.
Yeah.
There's
whatever,
hardly
like,
any of that.
The guys play tough. As much as I hate it, you're right, Mercury. I got to take
Yeah.
a back seat, but
No,
Yeah.
so it's just like one of those things where it's rare. It's rare to see though, but like where a team is just like an organization really is just so fundamentally sound at every level. They're able to just be really dominant, and even in games where you're like, well, should they really match up? Like they should be at a disadvantage here, and yet they still they're still
find a
winning.
way to win, yeah.
dude,
That's just I think where the Lions are at.
they
we-
have
we-
4 offensive touchdowns in the last 2 games, and they've won both of those games by 2 scores or more.
Like they won it by like a combined, I think 49 points.
Jordan
Points.
Love threw for more yards this game than Jared Goff has the last 2 games. And Jared Goff has won both those games
Yep.
by multiple touchdowns.
Dude,
Because the Tennessee Titans, they gave up 30 points to
the
defense
Lions-
and special teams.
they've had more offensive touchdowns in their last 6 games than Jared Goff's thrown in
Thrown in.
completions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just setting your quarterback up for success. I mean, because
Well, he
like,
doesn't have to
set
do
up.
anything.
it's not
He doesn't
it's,
have to do
like
anything.
it's not like it's just Jared Goff. I mean, he has to throw like maybe 20 passes a game,
And they're all
Yeah.
checkdowns.
Yeah.
Or it's St. Brown going through the. There was
well, and then
another.
they just run the ball through your throat so much. Then
Yeah.
they run like a little play action, get a little
Yeah.
boot action. And it's like, yes, they just get somebody running butt
Yeah, they
naked
got
free
guys.
on
They-
the second level. Yeah, that's where they get you.
St. Brown, dude. I have this down because I write it. I saw this on the show. They put it up on the broadcast. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. All right. St. Brown versus zone coverage in his career. 27 touchdowns. Pretty good
Mhm.
for zone defense. Amazing. It's like Megatron level, right? Versus man coverage for his career. Versus man. Today or yesterday was his 5th.
Wow.
So he's getting, but that's running game. That's
Mhm.
setting yourself up. Oh, he can just run through his zone and be just run right through it. Okay, this one's not open. Go to the next one. And they're just having the time because of the run game, to just wait. And he caught his 5th against our kick returner playing our number 1 defensive spot in Keyshawn Nixon, all-pro kick returner.
Yeah.
Leads the NFL in kick return yards right now. That's who was covering Amon-Ra St. Brown, was our freaking starting kick returner, who's our 5th DB because Jair Alexander, Carrington Valentine aren't playing, and we're playing Eric Stokes on the outside, and he's a second-round draft pick from some years back, but he's not matching up with Amon-Ra. He's just playing outside. He played a good game. I mean, you didn't hear anybody catching the ball on us, and we had our freaking rookie 7th-round draft pick, Kylan Hill, covering Khalif Raymond and just dogging that guy. But it's just Amon-Ra catches a couple passes through the middle on our kick returner, playing DB1 yesterday, forced into action. And it's like, that's like his 5th man. Like, so you just can't play this guy man up. He plays the majority of his snaps out of the slot. Why are you giving him a free release on 3rd and 3?
Yep.
And he has a 5-yard cushion. He's just going to take 3 steps, turn around. He has a first down.
Yeah, it's easy. Their run game is so good.
What are we doing?
Their run game is so good. They're able to actually manipulate their route concept to get guys open in zone.
It's like they schemed something up, caveman.
You can get open in zone every single play. You just run to the open spot.
The Detroit Lions are just great at capitalizing. We're taking what you're going to give us, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to succeed off of it.
And the thing that makes me the most upset is we have and we know how to shut down their offense, and we just said, we're good. If you play 5 line, like 5 guys on the defensive line, and you just match up man, and you say, beat us over the top, they're not going to do it because Jared Goff can't. He needs to throw to his zone through a guy running through a level, whether it's short, intermediate. That's all it is. Jared Goff has 1.3 yards of airtime this season. His average pass is 2 yards. They lead the league in yak with 15 yards after contact. Absolutely. The numbers that we've seen. Last week, Jared Goff had 1 touchdown and he had 0 passing yards. Because it was one of those pop passes to Amon-Ra St. Brown coming around, wide open touchdown on the Tennessee Titans.
End around, they don't call it a run play anymore.
Right. So he had a touchdown pass with 0 yards passing.
Yeah.
How is that even legal?
He had 85 yards. 85 yards is not really.
What are we doing?
You
played 5 line on the Detroit Lions. You'll shut down the Detroit Lions. Any defensive coordinator that wants to reach out, please.
We've been ranting for a while about our teams and everything. We're going to go on to a quick break. Lots of other matchups to break down and get into. Are the Rams back? So many questions. The Eagles nearly choked. There's a lot to get into. Stay with us. We got a whole lot of college football and top plays to come up as well.
He spent 22 years in the army. We talked Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. And what I learned from him's worth more than anything anyone's bought me. That camo jacket with our last name, still in my closet to this day. There ain't enough money in the world you can give me to throw it away. I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. So fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. Can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. And those cassette tapes he mailed home, I'd rewind them all night long. when I closed my eyes, it felt like he wasn't gone. And Mama did the best she could, raising 3 kids while he stood on the front lines from dawn to dusk in a gun-smoked skyline. Fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave, and pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. So I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened, and he said to fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one defending the land of the free. Boy, you're in the home of the brave. So to this day, I pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was my own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are back on a Monday football frenzy.
Let's go.
We just went over the Packers, Saints, and Broncos all losing. Got our rants out of the way.
Sad time.
Boys, we're buzzing in that first period. We're going into the
else-
second quarter of this till the final whistle Monday football frenzy. And we got all the matchups.
Yeah.
Kate or
HG,
Mercury,
run us through
Mercury,
the
run
scores.
down some of the scores for us.
Yeah, I got you guys. So starting on Thursday night, the Jets, just the bane of my existence. I picked like Aaron Rodgers and the Jets 4 weeks in a row in the pick 'em, and he lets me down every week. And so I finally pick against them, and then they come and win 21-13.
Same thing here, brother.
Was kind of a boring game. I was, I had
Yeah, it was
Halloween plans with my
Halloween, so-
girlfriend.
Yeah,
Didn't
I was
didn't
out-
care to watch it too much.
I got lucky that
Yeah.
it was on. We were out at Outback, me and my girlfriend, and they had it on in the bar, so I was able to watch it. And I was just shaking my head the whole time.
Yeah, it was
This
a
game is a joke.
stupid game. The
Thank
Jets,
God
man.
the Jets are done being in
Yeah.
primetime.
Yeah,
That's all
thank
I'm
Get
gonna
'em
say.
off.
Yeah, get them off.
If Giants have any more games, let's just get rid of them.
think they have a
too, both of
couple.
them.
They might. Maybe like another Monday night. I think they're close to being done too, though. So like,
Yeah.
thank God.
Scary.
Now all we have to do is deal with the Chiefs being in primetime because they're boring. They're boring in
And the
prime-
Packers. The Packers have 6 primetime games in the second half of the season, pretty much every game the rest of this year.
Green Bay's fun to watch though.
Green Bay is a
It'd
fun
be
team.
better
They're fun to
watch
watch.
than
I don't
You're
think-
just gonna have to deal with me
Yeah.
ranting and
Jets
raving and talking shit.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just the New York teams that are terrible.
done.
I can't
Yeah.
do it.
Except for the Bills.
Yeah. Come
That
to our
is
next
the
matchup.
only
A
New
good
York team.
good New York team that won their game on Sunday. The Bills in a thriller with the Miami Dolphins, man.
Good game, boys. That was a good
That
game.
was a
was
close
fun.
one. You saw a lot out of the Dolphins and their offense with Tua finally back and healthy in the lineup. But this loss, it might be too little too late as they dropped to 2-7 in the year. They lose on the 61-yard field goal to Tyler Bass.
What could have been
Yep.
with the Miami Dolphins this season?
We
What
cover
could have
the
been.
Broncos Ravens. Ravens destroy the Broncos 41-10 in the bounce back game for Baltimore. The Chargers kind of exposed that was a fluke game by the Browns and that Jameis Winston is not Cleveland's savior. They shut them down in a 27-10 trouncing where they
It's
were in
because he
control.
played good against the Ravens,
Yeah.
so his next game is going to be bad. He's just like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
They'll throw for 6 touchdowns on you, and then the next week it's 3 picks and a pick 6. It's just
Yeah.
you're going to lose in style with these guys as your
Uh-huh.
quarterback. It's better than having Watson. So
Kate-
Browns fans, you're
Yeah, it's better to have.
Yeah.
Give me what? Give me
Famous
Jameis Winston.
Jameis.
Give me that
Any
over.
day.
Any day.
Yeah,
Kid.
yeah,
Any
yeah.
day.
You,
He sat and rotted on our bench for so long. I mean, we should have played him at that
he
point.
beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau to open the season some years back.
He
during-
threw
was
like
it
5
COVID?
touchdowns or
He
something too.
shredded us, dude.
Doesn't
Nope,
make
don't-
sense.
don't
saw-
need that
Doesn't
guy.
make sense.
Don't
Just
need that
him.
guy.
They saw that and they're like, yeah, we don't want
No,
to.
we
Don't
don't.
want him.
We don't want to risk winning.
Why would we do
God
that?
forbid.
Why would we do that?
And the Saints thankfully did not risk winning against the Panthers as they dropped the 23
Yeah, we don't need it.
game. 7 straight losses now for New Orleans. The Bengals still trying to stay alive, handled the Raiders. Honestly, garbage time made this even closer than it was in the blowout. 41-24. Bengals take care of business.
What's
at
their
home.
record?
They're 4-5 now, so not dead.
Not dead.
Not dead, but I mean they're in a tough. They got 2 tough teams ahead of them, so it's like a wild card spots what you're kind of fighting for now. Baltimore and Pittsburgh kind of rolling up ahead of you. The Commanders, the Giants got some garbage time scores to make this close, but Washington was in firm control. They won 27-22. Daniel Jones. It was only like 680 days, but he finally scored a touchdown at MetLife Stadium again.
Holy crap.
He had 3 of them, 2 passing and a rushing touchdown for Danny Dimes. But ultimately, the Giants fall short. Their counterparts in Dallas, the Cowboys, again, made it close with a garbage time score, but ultimately, Atlanta was in firm control of this game for pretty much the entire time. They win 27-21.
Did you see Dak Prescott on the side? Did you guys see that? clip?
Mouthing, we effing suck.
I love when a player's like, don't go to the media like your owner and just hide it. At least you're willing to admit it. Because
Yeah.
then it cuts all the tension in the locker room.
There
Hey,
you
we
go.
freaking suck.
There you go.
Yep, you're right. The players know when you stink. We
They
know
do.
when you stink. You don't have to tell us that. You know what I mean? In the media, we're going to figure it out. You suck. Just call it a spade a spade. I love Dak Prescott for that.
Yeah,
Because Tony Romo
respect
never
for
did that.
Yeah.
Never did that.
And
No, you stink.
Their lackadaisical off season is
exactly.
really coming to show.
Kind of is. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott wasn't the primetime pickup that Jerry Jones was hyping up in the media.
There's
I
a lot of
I don't-
crappy teams.
I don't know
this
if
year,
you
though,
if you're
so-
Dallas, if you wave the white flag on the season, but I mean, if there was a team that could use a running back and like say Alvin Kamara, it'd be the Cowboys. But what do you
Well,
what do you want
Alvin
to
Who's
give?
from
Kamara-
Texas?
Yeah,
Alvin
no big deal.
Kamara's got to go to a
But-
team that's going to win a football game.
Yeah,
'Cause
I want to
yeah.
see
With Alvin
win one,
Kamara,
dude.
with Alvin Kamara, the Cowboys are just the same as the Saints, where they don't really do anything.
I just hope the Kansas
doesn't
City
get any
Chiefs don't
better.
trade for Alvin Kamara.
That's my biggest fear.
No.
too.
Because if they got that guy, dude, just hand him the third Lombardi, boys.
Yeah, but
They'll
say
get the third.
say a team like the Vikings might need a guy like that. The Broncos.
They're kind of in cap hell.
Crazy. Yeah.
The Vikings are in cap hell. I know.
If the Saints trade anyone right now, it's looking like it'll be Lattimore. So
I don't think Kamara goes
look
anywhere.
out for the.
Anyways,
look out
we
for
called
the
this the
corner.
dog with fleas game of the week, but the Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots
Good game.
actually kind of thrilling.
That was a good
Again,
game.
Drake May is like he's
throwing
showing
to,
a lot
throwing
of
to
like
lunchroom workers. out
yeah,
there.
and he's showing like some real impressive flashes. Like, can we
Yeah,
get this
nobody-
guy some weapons? Please don't give him the Mac Jones treatment. I don't know if Mac Jones is all that good to begin with.
Won a
but
playoff game.
They
yeah,
made a pl-
they
yeah,
did. They
won-
never
Went to a
really
Pro Bowl.
made it.
they never really gave Mac Jones like
No, they didn't.
a serious number 1 wide receiver.
Nope.
Can we
They gave
like
him Juju.
Drake May, dude? He's throwing the
Yeah, for
Walmart.
like 6 games.
He's throwing the
The heck?
Walmart cashiers and he's getting it done. Ultimately, wasn't able
Ramondre
to get.
Stevenson, nice running back.
Yeah,
Nice
He had
little
a
piece
good
to
game.
have.
ultimately wasn't able to get it done in
helps him.
Tennessee. But again, putting up some solid numbers. But the Titans get their second win of the season. 20
What's
to
the
17.
deal though with all these 2-win teams? The Saints, Panthers, Titans,
Tennessee.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Who else has 2 wins? The Browns.
All you guys basically
Browns
fighting
have
for the
2
number one.
wins.
I think with all those 2-win teams, you guys are all fighting for the number
So,
one.
what?
Number one overall pick in the draft.
There's
Yeah,
6
the
teams.
Jags.
5 or 6.
No,
Jags.
Ja-
I think
6
the
teams.
Jags have two.
They,
two
they're,
wins.
no, wait, I think they have 3. No, they're 2 or 3.
There are
Whatever, they're
6,
still right in the mix.
5 or
They're right
6
there.
teams with 2 wins. So
Yeah.
like everybody's competing for the number 1 pick, which who even knows who it's going to be because everybody needs something different. So it's not like
Yeah,
they're
right.
just gonna
Vegas has
pick.
2 wins. Giants have 2 wins. New Orleans.
We talked about the
There's a lot of
Bears. They
crappy
got
teams
crushed
this
by the
year,
Cardinals
boys.
20-9. The Eagles, man, nearly choked it to the Jaguars.
That game got
at
interesting
home. Yeah.
super late.
I mean,
I think they just stopped playing.
Yeah,
because they really
they were up 22-0 in the
and that
third.
You mentioned that fumble play that got the Jaguars.
Jags put together one nice drive. They score a touchdown, and then a real iffy fumble where it's like, was Saquon touched and actually down by contact? And the ground forced it. Ultimately, it went the Jaguars' way. And the scoop and score touchdown did stand. Made it close in the end, but Eagles hold on 28-23. Talked about the Lions, just got it done in Lambeau, 124-14. The Rams, another thrilling game, goes into overtime after the Seahawks tie it.
I love my Rams future ticket, boys, for the division. They're all right there.
Rams,
they have the tiebreaker over the Cardinals too.
Puka Nacua, he got ejected early too, and
it was in the second
they
quarter.
still,
I don't even know what happened.
He threw a punch.
He got. Oh my god,
Puka.
man.
He got
Division
up and Puka
rivalry.
started Puka.
Let's go.
Yeah. But in a game where they were really getting shut down offensively, they
really
turned it
were.
on
Late
at
in
the
second
end.
half.
Yeah, and especially in overtime, they win it in the Demarcus Robinson touchdown that you'll see in top plays, 26-21. And then, man, we were hyping up this game for Sunday Night Football because Joe Flacco was going to start and everything, and then the Vikings defense just shut them down. Not even a single offensive touchdown for the Colts. Their only touchdown came on the scoop and score as the Vikings win 21-13. Not that thrilling of a game. Tonight, we got what would have been a great game if the Buccaneers could have stayed healthy, going to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's
but
no
now,
fun.
down your top two wide receivers, you're missing your excellent rookie offensive lineman. Probably not going to be that great of a game. Kansas City -9 on the spread at home.
Yeah, that's tough, dude. I don't know if Tampa Bay can probably keep. I'd probably look at the first half. I would target the first half. Maybe Tampa Bay could keep it close because they play with some grit now.
They do.
They play.
do.
I mean, they still got Vita Vea in the middle
Defense
there.
is
You just
still
ain't gonna
solid.
run roughshod over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Defense
true.
is
I
still
mean,
pretty solid.
They got Antoine Winfield Jr. patrolling that center field.
Exactly.
You throw one up, he gonna pick you.
I mean,
And
that
guess who's coming to see Patrick Mahomes? Justin Simmons.
Oh
No,
yeah,
he's in Atlanta.
he's on Atlanta.
Oh, he's on Atlanta. We already
Yeah.
had to see that match.
he did pick off
Yeah, he
Patrick
did.
He
Mahomes.
did pick him off.
Did.
He did pick
And
him
the game
off.
Atlanta should have won.
Yeah, I mean,
Come
Dude,
on, Atlanta.
question.
Kansas City is 4 plays away from being a 500 team.
Basically, yeah. There's really been
They
like
should have been
maybe
undefeated.
2 games, I think, where I'm like the Chiefs were the
Won.
better team.
They
Yeah.
won.
And
Yeah.
they just won that by
That's it.
being better, or it wasn't like every other game. I'm like, man, it feels like the other team beat themselves
Huh.
more than the Chiefs beat them. But
Doing anything.
whatever.
Maybe
We'll see.
Antoine Winfield. Will
I
get
will
picked
say-
or
I mean,
something.
Kareem
He's guaranteed
Hunt's-
one.
Kareem Hunt's big old butt ain't gonna be running rough shot through that Buccaneers
No.
defense. So
it's gonna be a little.
I mean,
different.
Mahomes, he's been struggling to throw the ball this year, so that's where Tampa Bay might be able to keep it close, as they can probably
KC
take out
has
the run.
nobody on offense that threatens. Where I'm like, you know what? I can't stop that guy.
Yeah, we'll see
No.
what D Hop does.
I do have an
For them.
Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown ticket, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I think that might be a guy that they can get loose, because they like to scheme their players
That they
against
actually
weaker
get-
matchups.
Yeah.
Unlike
It's
I'm gonna
almost
go
like
back and-
They
the,
actually get
the
good
Chiefs,
players
they
the ball.
realize, hey, he's really not going to beat press man coverage. We're going to bring him in motion and motion them around, get him in the backfield. Yeah,
You're in man-to-man coverage. Well, I'm gonna have stack bunch on the right side, run a pick formation, and I know it's in man.
Yeah.
So you still have
Can't
to
guard
cover
us
me,
all.
and I'm gonna run, a misdirection this way, create a natural pick, run it off, and I got an easy, wide open 5-yard reception.
yeah.
They won the Super
we're
Bowl
gonna-
with it 2 years in a row.
We're gonna
people.
get Xavier Worthy in space. We're gonna put Noah Gray and Travis Kelce's big asses out there in front to block, and look at that.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick up yards. We're scheming their players open, even though we really have nothing on
Oh, Matt
offense.
LaFleur,
It's
you
all
let me
those.
down.
It's all those yards after catch is majority of Patrick Mahomes' passing yards this season.
Yeah.
He's another guy that just has not a lot of airtime, like Jared Goff. Like you're saying, they're just this
It's the
organization.
short, yeah.
Everything else, it's all sound.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, to say it,
Yeah.
that is another
Top
team.
down of that
Top
organization.
down. It's
Great
all
job.
sound.
You did
They
it.
all do
You
their
know,
job.
They did it. They're doing it
They
right
all
now.
execute. And
Playing-
it's unfortunate.
Kansas City got an elite level defense too. And
They
again,
do.
it's not like they have.
I
that
like
many-
their defensive. the Giants used to have this defensive coordinator, and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be our coach of the future." They gave him this lifetime contract when he was with Coughlin. He was a DC when they won 2 Super Bowls with Eli Manning.
Yeah, I mean,
this guy's been elite for a long time. He shut down Tom Brady
twice
and Randy Moss.
Dude, shut down the 2007 Patriots, arguably
been
a
around.
top 5
with
offense
Justin Tuck rushing the passer.
Yep. I think they just still had Strahan for that one too.
The first one, not the second one.
Not the second one.
The year that the Patriots were undefeated was 2012.
Oh, but don't sleep on was number 72 is like Ozzy. How do you say
Nnamdi Asam or no
Ozzy Usaman.
Awesome. It was Asamoah.
Asamoah, I think.
Asamoah.
Yeah. It was awesome.
That dude.
Yeah.
Bradford,
the middle linebacker that they had then.
He could get after them.
He could get after it.
And Antonio Pierce was on that team.
Antonio Pierce was on that team. Shout out Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
Shout out USC football.
Yeah. Vegas, like we said, kind of got it clapped by Cincinnati. Well, let's talk a little bit about this Bills-Dolphins game, guys. Let's jump into this because
that one was fun.
Man, real back and forth.
Division
the Dolphins,
matchup.
Another one of these 2-win teams,
Division
man.
Matchup. Miami did cover the 6-point spread, and the total pregame was 49, and the total went over for a total of 57 total points.
We were talking about earlier, the Packers did go on a run going into their bye week 2-6. I don't think the Dolphins have a bye week, but they are 2-6. But I mean, Tua's back.
Tough in the AFC, brother.
This looked, this was the best. They looked healthy. There's really like no margin for error.
I think they could just play split. Yeah, they'd have to run the table. They'd have to finish 10-6.
They can really only afford maybe one more loss.
Yeah.
And it'd have to be against not like an AFC.
And they got to go to Lambeau in December on Christmas.
That might be the only game they can.
And that's a
lose.
Florida team going into Lambeau. And,
but
we lost to a dome team in a rain game. We might as well lose to a Florida team.
We saw last year. We saw last year
in Dolphins and cold weather.
They could not.
Yeah.
They once it gets cold, they're going to lose.
I'm taking solace in that fact. But yeah, no, you're not wrong. Mercury, the Miami Dolphins definitely did play their best game. I mean, they had well over
they stopped
350. I think it's like almost 400 yards of total offense. The Buffalo Bills defense have been playing pretty good football.
Yeah. 373 total yards.
Miami Dolphins did have more time of possession, 31-53 to 28-07. I mean, they did have 8 penalties for 67 yards. That kind of killed them. I don't know, but that's going to be tough for the Miami Dolphins.
That combination of
definitely a great game.
Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert was looking good on the ground. And Achane, dude, is so deadly out of the backfield. He had 8 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. He also ran in a touchdown as well.
If Mostert doesn't fumble, like that duo is pretty solid. But that fumble again is another crap
for me. I had him running back for my guillotine league.
Yeah. Well, with Tua in there, man, he's been good. Like I have him in the league, and he's like,
he's banged up easy too.
He's a real small back. That's his problem.
He gets hit, and it's like it's 50-50 whether or not he gets up, man.
Their whole team.
I hold my breath every time that guy gets hit.
I mean, this is another one of these teams where it's like, yeah, they got a lot of talent, but the health of their players
is what
is what's limiting them.
What's limiting them.
I don't know. With this win here, I mean, Buffalo, they're 7-2. I think they're going to easily run away with this division. I mean,
I think so. I think they're probably the first seed.
No, but
they didn't even run the
first
ball.
seed.
The Jets are in second place at like 3-6. It's not.
Ooh, yeah, that's an interesting point.
It's just the same thing as when Brady was there. It's just the Patriots are going to do really good, and every other team is going to be really crappy throughout the season.
So Buffalo 7-2, Pittsburgh 6-2.
I would say, man, this is one of Josh Allen's best seasons, just because like how he's getting it done with
nobody.
Yeah, like
Matt Collins.
Weapons you wouldn't even get arrested at an airport with.
Quentin Morris. Man, Ray Davis was nothing in the running game, only 20 yards,
but he took that screen pass to the
70
house.
Receiving yards. It's 63 long. Oh my God. Yeah, the run defense for the Miami Dolphins looked really good. James Cook was held to 44 yards, Ty Johnson 23, Ray Davis 20 yards. I mean, they really did a good job against the run game.
And like the what do you call them? The Dolphins didn't turn the ball over.
No.
A whole lot. No interceptions. Doesn't look like they fumbled either. No, they didn't even fumble either. So it's
this is a good chance for the Dolphins to just see what's going to work for next season.
Yeah,
because at this point, Like, are you really? They have a chance to fight with the Jets for the second place spot. But are they going to fight for a playoff spot? No.
They could play spoiler.
Yeah,
They could be a really good. That's why just find out what works now for next season. You can all come in healthy, and you'll be good.
I think and a big thing for the Dolphins is like, okay, what guys are we want to move on from? Because that was, I think, one of their big issues this offseason.
That's a good point.
Yep.
They were like a bottom 5 team in terms of total cap space.
True.
So, all right, your season's over. Like, what guys can we get rid of? And, like what areas do we need to start focusing on?
Well, they already got rid of Christian Wilkinson. And,
yeah.
They already let him go to the friggin' Raiders.
I mean, I think Jalen Ramsey, it's time to move on from him. He's
That's
just
what I was
way
gonna
too big of
say,
a contract for like
the production and the player don't equal what he's getting paid. He's out.
I mean, like his
Their secondary is very good, but it's not just Jalen Ramsey anymore. Like they got that safety from Buffalo. They got one of the guys.
Jordan Poyer,
they got Poyer from Buffalo.
I mean, had to move on from Xavier Howard. Like, I think, it's time to just target some younger guys.
November 11th,
the draft and free agency.
Yeah, they got the Chargers, Vegas, New England, Green Bay. Okay, or excuse me, that's a November 28th game in Green Bay, so that's Thanksgiving game.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
But they end the season, guys. Really intriguing. They go Jets to Houston, San Francisco to Cleveland, to the Jets. San Francisco right there in the division mix. Houston right there also. Could they play spoiler at the end of the season with where they're at now? Project them a month from now, basically, in the month of December, turn the calendar page. They go to Houston. So that's a dome game. They play the San Francisco 49ers at home. That's a home game in Miami. Okay. Then they got to go to Cleveland, to the Jets. Both cold weather games. I just don't know. But that Houston and San Fran game,
spoil those.
They could play spoiler where if San Fran drops a game in December to the Dolphins, that's a tough. San Fran's got to go from
that really hurts them in the division.
From West Coast to East Coast. Tack on an extra, if they get upset, that's an extra loss. That could determine, say the Rams, kind of like, they have an easy way to the division, pathway to the division.
And the Rams already took one on the Niners.
And the Niners took one on the Niners and also the the Arizona Cardinals. So they have the tiebreakers over those two teams.
No, the Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
The Cardinals blew them out in week 2, but that was like when their whole team died.
Yeah,
and
died. That's right.
Fell apart.
So they lost one to every
They
other
could
team
play,
in the division.
I think Dolphins could play spoiler to one of those two teams trying to make a run at the end of the year. That's a dangerous team. I don't want Tyreek Hill in my building.
No, definitely not.
That'll be fun to see.
It's going to be a good game.
I don't even want
between
Jalen Waddle in the building.
San Fran and those two guys came from the same system. Shanny brought up the Dolphins head coach, so
because they were
it's going to be interesting.
They were all
friends.
on the coaching staff of the former Washington Redskins.
Yeah,
they were
same with Matt LaFleur,
all
Sean
on the same.
Mike McDaniel. All these guys.
So they were all
those guys
were
on the same team in the same building, and that team was like
that Redskins team with Kirk Cousins had 4 Pro Bowlers on it, and then they drafted Terry McLaurin. Don't know if you know this. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Owner Dan Snyder, clown show. Nah, we're good.
Well, I mean, dude, this is like the first year since he sold the team, and
look how good. Right.
Look at him. Look at the change.
Yeah. When you don't have sexual assault allegations going on within your front office, maybe you can win a football game.
Shady, scuzzy little scumbag, like doing all this weird illegal stuff.
They had to fire their head trainer because he's hawking medicine out of the back of the freaking team facility.
Also,
what are we doing?
Something else that I've noticed this year: no reports of FedEx Field just falling apart. No raw sewage leaking on fans.
That's true.
That's
no
great.
railings almost collapsing
on kids
or on opposing teams' quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, because that almost happened to Jalen Hurts? Could you imagine if a bunch of people fell on him and just crushed his knee, the trouble Washington?
Their whole they're just gonna take him out of the league at that point.
Yeah.
You
relegate him to the
Hurts,
UFL and
bring in the Birmingham Stallions.
Bring up the Stallions, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Rough Riders.
But I do want to shout out Tua, man. 25-28.
Yeah.
Killing it. He's coming back from everybody was making fun of him.
What a warrior.
Everybody was making fun of him.
Dude,
what a warrior.
He took off the scramble and Kevin Harlan goes, here goes Tua.
I do like to see though that Bills players were when he slid, they just jumped away from him. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. That's That's the least
You're not
you
the
could
Detroit
do.
Lions trying to gator roll Jordan Love twice. No big deal. Goes unflagged. I thought we got rid of that. I'm not going to complain about it or nothing, Mercury.
It's true.
The,
You thought they thought they got rid of it?
Where was the Green Bay Packers Charlie Bozeman? You know,
right?
When who was it? When the Saints guy did that to Herbert, he was on it like immediately.
100%. Yeah.
Did anybody come in to help Jordan Love out? That's a little weird. That's a little concerning.
Very much so.
I mean,
very much so.
Especially for a team like your O-line, man.
Buddy.
You should just, if you breathe on my quarterback wrong, it's on site.
Especially when he's the fastest to 50 touchdowns in your freaking team's history with no number one wide receiver right now.
That's crazy.
What are we doing?
That might be something to keep an eye on. I don't like that though. Like if your quarterback's
I'm not sold on Matt LaFleur coaching this team. I know he calls some fancy cool plays and he's all cool. I don't want to get too far off topic with the rest of our rundown, but dude, there's just times where I just don't see it. Where Jordan Love is having,
I understand that
he has some turnovers, yeah, but like he can't go. He's just going out there and trying to do it all on his own. He really is.
I understand that.
And then there's nobody there to, play on the ground, and the guy's trying to like way out. It was like way after the play. He had him like wrapped up like around his ankles, and he starts gator rolling him, and I'm like, bro.
Somebody,
the play's over.
Throw a flag, do something.
Oh, he got hit. Like they were
that's
booing.
Usually when you see an old lineman's helmet just fly in and they get crushed.
I forgot about this in my rant, dude. Clete Blakeman was the ref from the Instagram guy.
Oh no!
When Clete Blakeman, road teams have covered point spreads of 2 to 5.5 points. This point spread was between 2 and 3 points. Road teams have covered 77% of the time with Clete Blakeman. The under is an astonishing, it's cheating level, 89%. The game went under.
That's nuts.
Road teams.
Let's take a look at that.
Clete Blakeman, whoever he's calling the road team, bet on him.
That's
and it
one
makes
reason
sense.
Why.
Guess who was the referee for the Thanksgiving game last year in Detroit?
It's Clete Blakeman, wasn't
it? My God.
The game went over only because Jordan Love threw 5 touchdowns in remarkable fashion that nobody thought he was ever going to do. And that total was one of the lowest totals we had at 37 points last year.
Jimmy doesn't just cover bets; he covers the conspiracy.
That's why they need to start interviewing in the press the referees.
The refs.
The NBA has the 2 minute
You'll catch them
report.
slipping.
You will.
You'll catch them slipping if they'll say something like, "Okay, you're."
When I
betting
saw
on this
that,
game.
I bet on the Lions to win, so we covered. We made money. We had some good bets this week, dude. We went 4-1 in NFL, and we had a day in college football that we'll get to here soon.
Yes, we did.
We had a day in college football betting. But when I saw Clete Blakeman was the ref for this game, I said, "Oh no, I hate this dude." He was the referee that we had when Aaron Rodgers got headhunted by Ndamukong Suh and didn't call it. And then that force in the home game, okay, we won the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers gets KO'd by Ndamukong Suh. Okay, Clete Blakeman's the ref looking right at it. No call.
This is it.
He gets injured literally rest of this season. Matt Flynn goes into Detroit and sets a Packer passing record on the Detroit Lions and throws 6 touchdowns on the Detroit Lions. And that helped us propel us into the 6th seed to go into the playoffs where we won the Super Bowl. Clete Blakeman also gets hired when there was a holdout in the NFL way back before the replacement official thing became a thing. Also, back in 2007, there was also another controversy. He gets hired during that process when there was a bunch of NFL referees getting kicked out the door, basically. He comes in, and it's just more of the same.
Wow.
Yeah, they need to start interviewing them after the game. It's the same thing as like, they got Jordan Mason in that little bit of when he said it, he knew he was going to start on Friday, but that's not allowed. That's not allowed in the league because they didn't tell the media. So, it's like they could catch him slipping.
Sometimes you catch him slipping.
They could catch him slipping.
All right. Well, boys, Seahawks Rams, another thrilling game this weekend. Seattle's nightmare season at home continues. They're now 2-4 at home.
Oh, wow.
Their 2 wins at home were against Bo Nix and his very first NFL start. A game where they honestly could have lost. They gave
only
up
2 by 6.
Yeah, they gave up 2 safeties. You just had a rookie quarterback who couldn't figure out how to move the ball offensively. And then their other home win was against the Skylar Thompson-led Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Every other
And
mean,
that one went to overtime, right? Or they won by a field goal.
no, they
like-
they won that.
I think
they won by
that
like
couple
21.
a couple
Okay.
touchdowns.
But-
I thought.
They lost, pretty badly to the Giants, where they looks like they got a comeback brewing, and instead block kick goes back the other way.
It
They
was
were-
the Giants. That's the
Yeah.
one game I
Geno
was talking
Smith threw
about.
3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 363 yards, 21 of 34.
They got blown
Interesting.
out by the 49ers at home, essentially. Blown out by the Bills at home, and then another bad overtime loss. They were up 13-3 at halftime, and then the Rams scored 17 unanswered before on the final offensive possession of the game for the Seahawks. They were able to drive down, and Jackson Smith and Jigba caught a game-tying touchdown. He had a great game, 180 yards, I think, like 12 receptions, 2 touch.
Yeah, he was
2 touchdowns.
monster.
Really stepped
Another
up.
former teammate of our boy Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah,
Really,
The season before Caleb got drafted,
that's right.
guess who?
What?
He was in Heisman talk even. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I
So
thought
how does he-
JSN was Ohio State.
Ohio State, brother.
Ohio State?
He was teammates with Justin Fields for 1 year.
Ah,
That's
you're
what we're
right.
Thinking about the
You're
wrong Bears
right.
quarterback.
Yeah, it's
Thinking
okay,
about
brother.
the wrong
it all
Bears
just
guy.
it runs together. It's
Thinking
fine.
about
I do it too.
there's
I always forget.
there's a video
players in.
game actually that has them photoshopped into that jersey with Caleb Williams. It's like an old college football game that before the new one came out because it took them a decade to make it.
Which was the
Couldn't play
dumbest thing.
college football
How do you
for 10
fumble
years.
that back, college football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's
Just
'cause
pay
the
the players.
NIL. It's
Just
'cause
pay
the
the players.
NIL.
Yeah.
The players
That's the
were
only
getting
reason
paid
why.
anyway. Back then, Reggie Bush was getting. They have a documentary in the 70s named the about SMU football, where the bottom title was a payroll to keep. They were doing this in the 70s. What? Yeah, college football. a freaking
Just pay
sham.
the kids.
Just pay the kids. Put it into a
Pretty much
savings
pro
account.
already.
But here we are, another game where the losing team outgains the other team by.
Oh,
This one
geez.
wasn't too bad, but Seattle,
Still outgained them.
424 total yards.
Yeah.
I mean, Geno Smith could not
interceptions,
protect the ball.
No.
You throw for 363 yards, with also 3 interceptions.
Holding
Yeah.
Kyron
Just
Williams to 69
Seattle also had
yards.
7 punts too in that game. So man,
Just blowing opportunity
Yeah.
after opportunity. I mean,
Yeah.
for the Seahawks, I think you want to be a wild card team.
Yeah.
You've looked atrocious at home against real competition. I mean, the Giants aren't even I wouldn't even say they should not have lost to the Giants at home.
no.
No.
The red zone efficiency for the Seattle Seahawks, 1 of 5.
Oh, geez.
0 for
Yeah.
2 in goal to go situations too.
And the one touchdown they had in the red zone was to tie up the game to go to overtime.
Right.
That's the only time.
I mean, and the Rams were struggling. If they had to go on long, sustained drives, they couldn't do it. They were getting
No.
shut down that way. But there was
They
all these
couldn't run the ball.
turnovers that were giving the
Yeah.
Rams easy scoring opportunities. All the picks Gino was throwing. Then you think you
Gino
can
got sacked 7 times too. Wow.
Yeah. And then we got to talk about the decision by Mike McDonald here, because you go into overtime, you tie
Yeah.
the game up, you get the ball first, right?
Right.
And then it's 4th down. It would be a chip shot field goal. They were around the 15, 20,
Gotta go
I
for it.
believe. But it's 4th and short.
You go for it.
Well,
I don't think you go for it there because
Look,
the
you
Rams
take
were
that-
very aggressive when they
Yeah,
got the
I mean,
ball.
I think you take that field goal, your defense has been shutting their offense down when they have to go the length of the field. But then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's still, instead of, the Rams having that pressure, if they're down by 3, they have to score at least some points. Now it's still a tied game. I mean, they were coming
They're
out.
chucking it.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing with
Throwing it up.
no fear. I mean, they just seemed really calm and relaxed. You took away a lot of pressure that LA would have had if you taken that field goal and made them, have to at least get a field goal. And then instead, I mean, your defense breaks down where they run a play action boot to the left 2 plays in a row,
Yeah.
and
They beat you both times.
Yeah, beat you both times. Once for the game-losing touchdown
Right.
reception by DeMarcus
Which
Robinson.
no safety help over the top.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. You're
And
leaving
he
your
was
guy
there
out on
way
an
too late.
island.
Right. I mean, look, I'm just saying, if the Rams are down by 3 points, do they call essentially the same play 2 times in a row?
Probably.
Probably. I don't know.
Probably. McVay's dangerous like that, dude. I mean,
He is, but
to me, you go for it because you know you're playing a team that's gonna hell or high water. you're in a division game. Like a field goal doesn't help you in overtime because they're still going to get the ball. And if they score a touchdown, which obviously they did, you got to, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I think Twitter was ablaze because of that. I don't know, man. I
can see what you're saying
tough.
there, but
it's tough. I mean,
they also had no running game either.
No.
That's why I don't think they should have went for it.
They really
couldn't
kept Kyron Williams at bay pretty much that whole game.
Yeah, he had, let's see. He had 22 carries for 69 yards. That's not efficient at all.
Some of his bigger runs got called back by a penalty too.
That's just a lot.
They were shooting themselves in the foot
for this era of football.
I don't know. I just think with the way Seattle's defense was playing, you take a 3-point lead, you try to pin the Rams back deep, and then you can let your pass rush tee off a little bit more on Matt Stafford, and it makes LA just doesn't have as much of their playbook available. Just with the way the game was going, I think taking the 3 points and trusting your defense would have been better because your offense was not. They were having their struggles. They were putting up all kinds of yards, but they were struggling to convert in the red zone,
or they would just turn
score
it over.
Points. Yeah, and they would just turn the ball over. So, I mean, just with the trends of the game, I think taking the 3 and trusting your defense would have been better.
I think the Rams are going to take this division.
I mean,
where
are the 5-4.
Where do the Rams rank in that division now, Jimmy?
Second right now.
They're second.
They're 4-4, tied with San Francisco, who's 4-4.
But they have the game over them.
They do. Rams are 2-1 in the division, and the San Francisco 49ers are 1-2 in the division. So that's going to give them the bump.
So the Cardinals are first, or the Niners are first?
Cardinals are first at.
Okay.
Excuse me, at 5-4.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still wide open pretty much. There's a lot of Call of Duty to be played for Kyler Murray, which honestly, I don't know how you could get worse at football after playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty takes no skill. It takes no skill at all. You can walk through it mindlessly, just shoot people. It's that you don't have to have brain power to play Call of Duty. Sorry, Jimmy.
It's okay,
I don't know how his stats get worse. That game's not hard. It's the easiest game you've ever played.
It's
The Arizona Cardinals are the only division winner to have more points scored on them than points that they've scored on their opponent. For that points for and points against, they're the only one in the negative that's winning the division in football.
That's actually crazy.
So take that for what you want. I mean, that's kind of astonishing, actually. And it's only 7 yards differential, but still, I mean, they're the only division winner right now that has that. So the Detroit Lions, 258 points for, 148 points against them.
That's a dominant point differential.
Dude, that is insane. And dude, and the thing is, the Green Bay Packers have the same amount of points for, but only 50 more yards points against, and they're right now third in that division at 6-3. They have 250 points for and 194 points against. That's a 51-yard differential between the two.
All right, I did want to quickly touch on the Titans and Patriots game.
Do it.
That was fun, man.
Entertaining game.
Drake he needs some help in there because boy was he their entire offense. He did have 2 interceptions to just 1 touchdown.
I'm okay with picks.
And one of them was you're down in OT, you're trying to make a play.
Yeah, you got to make a play.
Half the time, it's not even the quarterback's fault.
Right.
Like Bo Nix, little Jordan Humphrey, it just tipped off his hands.
Happens, brother.
The pick the Saints had where Leggett caught it and then they got stripped out of his hands.
It just got ripped out of his hands.
Might be time to start making wide interceptions and wide receiver stat too. But I mean, to point out,
or
good point,
just
Richard.
drops in general. If they
because there's a number of interceptions where you're like, well, you can't put that on the quarterback. I mean, he made the correct.
I've seen it with Jordan Love with drops this year with our wide receivers. It's like,
I mean, the Leggett one was especially egregious. Like you had that ball,
right?
That was a catch, and then the defender just ripped it out with one hand.
Yeah, by our 5th string corner.
Or
it's always the 5th. We had our 5th string. I'm like, what are we even rolling out here?
Shamar John Charles. I kind of love that name though.
Guess who he used to play for? Drum roll, please. The Green Bay Packers.
Wow. I thought you were going to say the Chicago White Sox.
6th round draft pick.
I thought you were going to say the Bears.
Shamar Jean Charles. That was my guy coming out of college, man.
Mr. Drake May. 206 passing, but can we just talk about how egregious this Patriots rushing attack was? Drake May was the team's leading rusher. Guess how many yards Drake May had?
Holy
Ramondre
crap, dude.
Stevenson wasn't their leading rusher?
No, Drake May had 95 rushing yards.
Look
Their
at the stats.
Their next closest rusher was Ramondre Stevenson with 16
crap.
yards.
But he had 2 touchdowns, I think, in that game.
He had
He had a
one.
receiving
Yeah, he
touchdown.
ran one and he
yeah,
caught
yeah,
one.
Yeah, ran one and caught
But I mean, come on, you got to give your rookie quarterback a little bit of a run game. 10 carries for 16 yards.
95
Bro,
rushing yards
that's
for the
tough,
QB.
dude.
Let's
Yeah,
go,
that's
Drake
tough.
May. Getting it moving.
That's tough.
Drake May was getting it done out there.
That's tough.
Ramondre did catch the game tying touchdown, and then ultimately
Yeah.
they lost in overtime. Not too much to touch on here because these are two teams that are just like out of contention already. I
Just
mean,
like last year.
yeah, but a game that
When
you
two
saw
bad teams get together, man, there's just
There's
some
some-
elite.
some
where you're-
sparks, man.
And these are the games where I watched. I had like my TV on Mercury, and then I had my girlfriend's laptop. My gracious girlfriend who let me borrow her. I was stream easting on her laptop, and I was stream easting on my laptop, and I was kind of like going back and forth between all the games. And dude, those two teams, like awful teams, bad records,
Yeah.
not going to do much. No college team is beating the New England Patriots.
No.
There's
Not
no
close.
like you know,
Or
and
the
like-
Titans.
or the Titans. Like not it wouldn't even be a ball game. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, dude, like that's how big the gap is. And you watch two of the worst teams play football. Like you could line up maybe like in a Hall of Fame game and have a college team compete, but in a regular season game, I'm
No.
watching this. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, just got done with all the upsets in college football that we'll touch on in a second. I was like, there's absolutely no way a college team or even like, I'm like, that's how far the gap is between two of the worst teams in football. Can't even argue. Two of the worst teams in football.
And the
Entertaining, close
Titans
football
defense,
game.
boys. I'm sticking with Titans defense.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Dude, Tony
It's pretty
Pollard,
solid.
he was great too. 28 carries, $128 on the ground. Caught 3 passes for 26 yards as well.
He had some
Dude,
big plays
yeah.
early too.
Dude,
He
I
looked
like a
nice.
team that could have used a guy like that is the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, could you imagine if they had like a
I wonder
backup
if they had
coming-
Tony Pollard on
Tony
their
Pollard,
team,
a
Mercury.
guy
What
like
would happen?
that.
if they, you know,
Imagine
like
they had
maybe
a
that
guy
would have
like
helped them
that.
out a little bit in their running game. Too bad they don't have a guy like that. That would have been really helpful.
I have
for
no
them.
idea who was catching touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans yesterday, though.
It was Nick Westbrook Akina and Nick Van Nett.
All right.
That's tough.
So no, not even Calvin
But-
Ridley.
So car wash attendance.
Nick.
Not even Calvin
The Knicks,
Ridley.
man.
You know, I think he
Hey.
probably led. I think he had a few big catches.
Bro, Nick,
Whatever happened to Czech Okonkwo too? I got him
Oh,
in
yeah.
fantasy. I got him in fantasy. I was like, all right, he'll be a pretty solid. He's like
Yeah.
a second-year tight end. He had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
3 catches
Man.
for 38 yards. He's just, I don't know, man.
He had the quietest year. I was really big on
Dude,
Czech Okonkwo
Nick Westbrook
after last
Akina
year.
is like the ultimate like touchdown vulture. Like if you have any player on the Titans, you're just gonna watch Nick Westbrook Akina catch a touchdown and just be furious because he usually doesn't do a whole lot else in the game, but then he'll just like catch a touchdown in the
Yeah.
red zone. And you're like, come on, like give it to DeAndre Hopkins, give it to Calvin Ridley, give it to Chig Okonkwo, please. But nah, gotta go Westbrook Akina. All right, we got a lot of college football to touch on too. Let's get another quick break. That was our NFL breakdown, and we're going to be back with college and our top plays. So stay with us. A lot more to come, and we'll take a little bit of a look at the playoff picture as well before we sign off the year today. Stay with us, folks.
60 years went rolling by. It was here we said goodbye. The war was brewing, it was extreme. We were only teens. I knew the day I died, all alone, my brand new bride. Our favorite song would be a sign I'd be back in time. So raise a flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say I'm a soldier of the USA. You weren't alone all these years. I've seen you cry, I know your tears. You raised our child and a family, all without me. You've done well with your life, lots of friends by your side. I heard a nightly secret prayer, I was always there. So raise our flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say, I'm a soldier of the USA. Now it's time, my lovely wife, bring you home, say goodnight. Close your eyes to our favorite song. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? One day we'll come back in time for those we leave behind. But for now, we'll watch them grow. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are back. We are live at Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio. Monday Football Frenzy. We just broke down all of the NFL matchups from this past week. Had our rants and raves. All three of our teams have lost over the weekend. But the boys are buzzing.
7 weekends.
College football Saturday. A lot of upsets. A lot of college football implications. Conference championship implications. Texas Tech or Texas A&M gets upset by South Carolina.
A couple of teams got put on fraud watch.
It's going to be an interesting last 3 weeks of the college football season. Tomorrow, I believe, is the first week that the College Football Playoff Committee releases its top 12 teams. And we're gonna see then. I mean, right now it's all the AP poll rankings. That means nothing from what the College Football Committee has showed us in the past.
It means absolutely nothing.
Absolutely zilch.
Absolutely nothing.
Whoever's the top 12 now, Alabama could be number one with the College Football Playoff Committee. Who knows? We got Condoleezza Rice in there picking college football winners. So
shout out
what can go wrong?
2017 UCF.
So
yeah. Hey, they were solid though this week, and they just destroyed Arizona 56-12.
They killed them.
Yeah.
So what games were you able to check out this weekend? What are some of the games that you guys watched?
Well, one that stood out to me, Pitt Panthers got put on fraud alert by SMU. This was touted as one of the games of the week. 2 undefeated ACC schools.
We got the butts kicked.
We were kind of wondering, like who's really legit out of these 2 teams? Who have they played? Well, I think it's SMU might be the legit squad coming away with a 48-25 win.
They scored 24 in the second quarter.
Yep.
Goodness.
Yeah. Looks like Eli Holstein got benched, and they let Nate Yarnell come in and sling the rock for the last part of that game.
They did.
I was watching my Denver Nuggets get a big W over the Utah Jazz, but I was keeping my eye on this one. And I just every time I looked down, I'm like, oh my goodness, SMU could be legit. Oh, I guess they do have one loss, actually. They're 8-1 though.
They're and they don't play Clemson or Miami at the top of that ACC schedule. So this was a huge win for them to boost their rating, probably with the College Football Committee, to see if they can be one of the last.
So they moved up to 13 right now. So they're
who's their only loss?
Away.
Oh, they lost to BYU.
BYU earlier in the season.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, those Mormon Cougars are there's something fierce.
Watch out for those guys right there. Man, Pitt though, look at they had so many different running backs get a chance at it, and they just couldn't get
Could
anything
not get
going on the
anything
ground.
established. Nah.
The leading rusher of 49 yards on 13 attempts, and an average of 3. I mean, I don't know. Like 4 yards a carry, you'll take it, but if you're giving them like more than 13 attempts, then you'll take it. Then you'll take 4
100%.
yards a carry because then you're at least, as long as you're getting the first down.
Efficiency. Yeah, you're getting a first down.
SMU, they just had some guys flying around on defense. 4 guys with 9 or more tackles in this game. So just nose for the balls. Kobe Wilson led the team with 11. The Ahmeds, Moses and Walker, man, 10 tackles apiece. Alexander Kilgore with 9. Flying over. And 3 sacks on the day, it looks like, for SMU. Yeah, they just clearly played like the better team. So I think this might kill Pitt and their chances for an ACC
total plays too.
championship. But SMU very much alive. I mean, Miami SMU, is that what we're looking at? Maybe?
I don't know, Mercury, because Pitt Panthers, or excuse me, the Pitt Panthers, dude, with Clemson losing.
That's true.
Clemson lost?
Clemson lost to Louisville.
Oh, man.
Pretty badly,
the
too.
Pitt Panthers still have to play Clemson. Right now, Clemson is leading in the ACC right above in the 3 spot to SMU because of the conference, matchups.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, Pitt. I misspoke. SMU is number 2 in the conference. But Pitt, even though they lost to SMU, Pitt can still make a conversation if they beat Clemson at home November 16th.
Then they
play
just got to
Virginia,
worry about
Clemson.
Miami.
Then they got to play Louisville and BC to end the season.
Well,
both on the road.
Don't sleep on Louisville. I mean, they went into
into Clemson and
beat them down.
100. I watched that game. It was over. I had Clemson. That was one of my losers over the weekend in college football. I had 2 losers. Clemson was one of them. And that game was over in the first half. And I was like, oh, this is good. I don't even have to watch this game now.
Another one of these games where it's like the winning quarterback throws for 156 yards. Isaac Brown putting the team on his back.
Weird
$151.
week in football, man.
Yeah, like I feel like we
Really
saw that a lot.
week.
Where it was just like winning
What is
quarterbacks
happening?
weren't doing a lot.
Yeah.
The Pitt had more time of possession.
I mean,
they got more first downs, more
is just
total
kind of
plays.
the state of football room where it's like the teams that can run the ball really effectively and then play good defense and win the turnover battles and everything. I mean, you can give up all these yards.
Yeah.
But if you're
You don't win
making red
football
zone
games.
stops and you're getting takeaways,
Doesn't matter.
you're going to win.
Yeah, 31 minutes of total possession. They called 90 total plays, 30 first downs. The SMU only had 19 first downs. Pitt
Wow.
had 30.
Wow.
453 total yards,
Caveman.
but they only scored 25 points.
Dude, and like here and on that Clemson game, Clemson had 450 total yards and lost by 12.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh,
that
man.
game was like over pretty early.
Oh my God.
It was some garbage time scores to make it a little closer, but like by the third quarter, like Louisville was up like 33
Yeah,
to
it was
8, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you're like, well, they took their foot off the gas and Clemson scored some garbage time TDs to get close. But
Yeah.
I think that's where we're also seeing it is like these teams are just getting into the lead and then just holding it for so
Holding
long.
it.
Is
Yeah.
that the team that's trailing, they're just generating more yards trying to come back. But
And just Google this. Just search up Louisville versus Clemson and click on the game stats. This is
I mean,
another one that'll baffle you.
time of
37
possession.
minutes. Clemson had 37 minutes with the ball, 101 total plays, and they got worked.
weird
That's
week of football
a
here.
weird week of football, dude.
I thought,
There's
another
no
game-
rhyme or reason to it either.
Another game that kind
No.
of surprised me was Wisconsin just got dog
Oh,
walked
they
by
got
Iowa.
blasted, dude. Yeah.
I thought Wisconsin was a
was,
little bit of a better team. I mean, they took Penn State down to the wire just a couple
They
weeks
did.
ago.
They did. Well, it's Penn
I thought their
State good.
defense was
That's true. I mean, there's James Franklin got this team out to a 7-0 start. One loss. There's calls for him to be fired.
I kind of
Insane.
agree, man.
Did you see him?
They just don't. Like college football, man. It's how your coach gets your players prepared to play big games.
Yeah.
They're just not prepared to play.
Dude,
big
this was a
games.
whiteout game against
Yeah.
the number.
Why
4
was the
team in
game at
country.
10 a.m. kickoff? You
I know.
lose everything by a whiteout.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares. It's light outside. When it's dark out and you got the white and you're playing Mo Bamba,
That's
fire.
when it's hyped.
That's when
Yeah.
it's hype.
That's when it's hype.
You get a pick 6 to start the game. You go up 10-0. You're just like, we're good. Hey, man, there's 4 quarters left, dude, and that team's pretty good over there.
Yep. Did you see him going up to the fans after the game? Somebody was heckling him.
Yeah,
he was like,
rightfully so.
"If you're such a man to talk, what's your name?" And the guy in the stands is like, "Whatever, dude.
He's a
like
student.
coach the football team. Why are you asking? Why are you asking
Why are
me?"
you even? The fact that you're responding is a joke.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a student at this university, helping pay your salary.
Here's my thing: if you're gonna, address it, if you're not gonna just ignore it, that means like you believe that there's merit in what that person's saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, if some guy's yelling at me, "Oh, you need to get fired," and but as you coach, you believe that no, I'm still a good coach. I can take care of this. I'm not insecure about my coaching. I'm just gonna ignore it and move on because you're gonna get heckled in this position. I mean, you're a college football coach at a Power 5 school, like one of the big, most
Where the
historic
guy
programs in the
before
country.
you, Joe Paterno, got ran out of town because of unspoken acts within the team.
Yep.
Iconic coach, and this is what are we doing, dude?
And that
Christian Hackenberg is probably laughing his face off right now.
You remember when Keegan Michael Key, the comedian, dressed up as him? That just cursed, dude. I swear that just killed him because he was a big, pretty hype hire. Like everyone was like, "Oh man, Penn State might be saved here, boys."
Yep.
But man, James Franklin win a big game challenge.
Will not happen. Speaking of big games, Mercury. Mercury is a CU Buffs fan. That Big 12 this week, guys.
Some major shakeups,
guys.
They're alive.
So
they're alive.
Carnage and chaos, boys. Texas Tech beats Iowa State
by 1,
and Houston upsets Kansas State in that Big 12,
which is massive.
Massive because the CU Buffs lost to Kansas State.
That's
in a very close
only
game.
conference loss.
Their only conference loss, Mercury.
So
You're getting ahead of me, brother.
Sorry, I'm a little excited. Bro.
I know it, dude. I'd be excited for. I just want to run this down right now. BYU, Iowa State, Colorado, 6-2 overall, 4-1 in the conference. Iowa State now 4-1 in the conference. BYU, obviously, they're probably gonna be playing in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
But Iowa State, to end the season, tough place to play. They're gonna knock each other out. They're gonna cancel each other out, and this is what could cause carnage and chaos. To end the season.
Against KSU.
Against Kansas State.
Okay.
It's gonna come down to the wire.
Here we go.
Carnage and chaos
The big
is
thing,
upon us, boys.
CU
Mercury.
does need to take care of business. They gotta
CU's
win out.
gotta win out.
Gotta win out.
Win out.
Their toughest game, I think, that they got left on the schedule is Texas Tech.
And that's this weekend.
That's this weekend.
At Texas Tech too.
Yeah. So that's the big
Utah,
one. You got to go
KU, and
into
Oklahoma
Texas
State.
Tech and beat the Red Raiders. Tough
Oklahoma
place to
State
play,
game's a trap.
man. I mean, when I took a trip down to Austin one year, met some Texas Tech fans. I mean,
They're passionate.
they got some pride there. So it's going to
they've
be a
had
rowdy
Michael-
place to play.
They've had Michael Crabtree and the Pirate Man himself as their head coach. They are not afraid.
Patty Mahomes, alma mater.
Shout
there.
out Graham Harrell. Chucking
But I
and
think-
ducking all over that Texas Tech football.
That's the big one. If you can, that's I think the best team they got left on their schedule here is Texas Tech.
100% is, yeah.
You gotta. That's the tough.
That's this Saturday at Texas
Tough
Tech.
hill to
night
climb.
game on
Yeah.
ABC, boys.
So
That's going to be a great
That'll
game.
be a
you
good
get
one.
that W
Oh, yeah.
though, then you get to host Utah, who I mean,
That's
don't
shaky.
sleep on them.
It's
They
a
were-
shaky
That's
team,
a
but don't
win.
sleep
That's a
on
win.
them.
They
That's
did
a
start the
winnable
year
game.
ranked, but they have fallen off quite
Yeah,
far.
they're bad.
Kansas is 2-6, even though that game's in Kansas. That's a game you should be able to win.
Yeah.
Get the
And
rock
then
chalk out of here. dude.
Oklahoma State comes to
That's a trap
Folsom
game,
Field.
brother.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Oklahoma State can play that. Mike Gundy and his team, they love that playing spoiler crap.
Yeah.
You cannot. Say they beat Texas Tech and run the table, and then that carnage at the end of the season. They know going to that Oklahoma State game that they're going to be playing in the Big 12 championship. If they win, they'll be playing BYU in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
I would not overlook Oklahoma
just
State.
gotta
Well, and what
get ready
scares
to
me about
stop the run.
Oklahoma State, the biggest struggle for CU defensively has been against the run. That's how Kansas State beat them. They just ran it down their
Oklahoma
throats
State's
all
best
game.
offense is Ollie Gordon.
Ollie
right?
Gordon.
Yeah, and they got
Probably
who's
another first-round draft pick.
yeah, he'll be an NFL
Him and
running back,
Austin
despite
Johnson.
how bad the
Two best backs
the
in
Cowboys
college.
have been. He'll still go
Yeah.
to the NFL. So
gosh, man, this college football
It's
years.
there's so
Dude,
much
there's so
chaos
much.
coming down
Dude,
the wire.
The Big Ten, dude, with Ohio State winning. I'm gonna let you go back to the Big 12 real quick. Ohio State beat Penn State. Penn State knocks down. IU goes to Ohio State at the end of the year. I'm doing it again. Freaking Indiana.
Their
Excuse me.
schedule's not. I understood you there.
Yeah.
I know Indiana. Their schedule's not easy to end it because
No.
I think next week it's a home game against Michigan. They're not going to the Big House, but they still got to play Michigan.
Yep.
And then it's Ohio State the week after that.
And they got a bye
Oh
week
my
to end the year with
gosh.
Purdue.
Yeah.
But still,
And you're getting Ohio State off of a bye week though if you're Indiana. That's a nice thing because they play Michigan, then they have the following Saturday off. Then they got Ohio State.
That does. And then my thing is, what if they lose that Ohio State game and they finish with one loss? Where do the tiebreakers rank out?
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go to the standings. I got
Do we
the
think
standings
Oregon
up.
finishes undefeated? They got Maryland, Wisconsin, and Washington. To end the year.
Probably, I would imagine so.
That seems like they, barring some crazy upsets, Oregon should be able to finish undefeated.
Yeah, because
So-
right now Indiana's undefeated, Oregon's undefeated, Ohio State has one loss. Penn
Also,
State
the
has one
Ducks got to be super happy that Penn State finally lost because there was kind of a loophole that like Oregon could finish undefeated as the number one ranked team in the country and then not go to the Big Ten championship.
because
Yeah.
of Penn
because
State,
of Penn State.
Indiana.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Dude, that Big Ten, man. It's not really a Big Ten
Big
anymore,
10,
but
Big
The
10,
Big
Big 12.
20.
Yeah.
Big 20, it's
What-
shaking up pretty wild.
They just need, I don't know, college football is such a joke, dude. I don't know what they need to do, but they
Like
need to
everyone-
do something with all this.
Everyone was clowning on Matt Rule for saying that
Go,
four
just go to
teams
NFL
from the Big
divisions,
Ten.
bro. Yeah.
Everyone's clowning him. There's like 4 teams from the Big Ten got to make it. 4 teams from the Big Ten got to make it this year.
Probably think that too.
Everyone was
At
clowning
least
him at
4
the
from
beginning of the
SEC
year.
and 4 from the Big Ten.
Yep.
I would
That's
imagine.
probably going to make up at least 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everyone
'cause-
was clowning him early.
I mean, how even like
That's because he's
how are you
Nebraska's
going to leave
coach.
out Penn State and Ohio State? They're still probably going to finish in the top 10. Indiana could be an undefeated or one loss
See,
team.
but the thing is, now
Oregon's
with the
probably-
rankings coming out, Mercury, I got to cut you off because is it going to go off of the top 12 rankings? Probably not, because
Probably
now
not,
you have to take in the ACC consideration and the 4 automatic at-large bids.
The top 4.
So they're going to have to get an at-large
yeah.
bid. Are they going to get an
now-
at-large bid over SMU, who might not even play in the ACC championship game,
Yep.
who could be freaking with one undefeated in their conference with one loss?
Because now
I mean, you're going to have
the top
an
4 teams
independent
are going
team
to
in
be
Notre
the
Dame,
conference
too.
ones.
And Notre Dame's going to be, if we
Yeah.
run the table, we're an auto bid at 8. So
Yeah.
that's where that's at.
But I
So-
mean, yeah, you're just like looking at it. There's a
I
lot
would
of
s-
teams. Like
There's at least one spot taken. Think of that, Notre Dame. So it's really at
Yeah.
11. I mean,
I
it's
mean-
going to be wild finish. Dude.
Yeah.
you're going to have Georgia and Texas in there for sure. Tennessee as well.
Right.
It's like Bama.
Miami.
Bama, you're going to have to throw in there. Miami for sure.
You
Bama
know,
might not make it.
I don't think Bama makes it, man.
I
Really,
don't think so.
I think
right
Bama
now.
gets left out, dude.
that would be crazy.
I don't think. Yeah, I think they get.
I mean, if
left
they
out right
went
now.
out though, you think they would really get left out?
It depends.
I mean, right
Depends.
now they're 6-2. They're 3-2 in their conference. I mean, Ole Miss is ranked ahead of them in their conference.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're
that's fair.
second to last in the SEC
You know,
right now.
I mean, dude,
Obviously, you got
and
Boise-
LSU 6-2, and they only have one loss in their conference. How do you keep LSU out, even though they just got upset?
Yep.
You know, I mean,
It is tough.
Georgia, Texas A&M. I mean, and Texas A&M, dude, with them losing, I texted it in the group. That throws a monkey wrench
Yeah,
into that
they
system
were leading it commandingly over there.
and choked it. You know, I mean, and Tennessee's rolling right now, 4-1, 7-1 overall. I got a future ticket on them, dude, and I cannot be happier. I mean, they're sitting in prime position to host a home game in Knoxville, Neyland Stadium, in the second round of the college between the winner of the Notre Dame Boise State game that
It's
ends up
only
shaking up.
It's only first rounder home and away.
Right.
So the second round will be it's Rose Bowl,
it'd be
Sugar
Rose
Bowl, Peach
That's
Bowl.
right. That's right.
That
Yeah.
all,
So-
that's
oh,
what's
man,
still
I
going to
mean,
be
that's
cool.
even going to be crazy.
The first round
First
games,
rounder, those-
the higher seed will be the home team, and then
Yeah.
the second round is Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Peach Bowl, and then it's going to be
college football final.
college football playoffs like it has been.
Interesting, dude.
It's going to be crazy.
Oh, man.
It's going to be crazy. I'm so excited for this. I got a chance to see how it all shakes out on the new video game because I completely forgot about it. Then
You took Regis to the
hop
college
into
football
Dynasty.
final?
Oh no! Oh no! No!
Caveman,
If you see,
Caveman was trying to take Regis to this college football playoff.
oh,
Yeah, that's not happening.
I'm still rebuilding him, and
It's
we
still a
still
work in
haven't won a
progress.
game in that video game because dude, that's unforgiving. That game's unforgiving. If you got a bad team, you're a bad team. You can't even win on the highest difficulty. It is hard. That is a fight. But it really teaches you, man, that you got to rebuild a team. You look into the recruiting more. Like sometimes you just can't find talent. You really see that these teams are getting like, oh, this guy's a 5-star guy. Like he's going to be such a legend. Dude sucks.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I see what these teams are going through in real life now.
Yeah.
It kind of
Yeah.
makes me see the full picture.
Juice them up, put them in the program, make them lift weights, and then we're going to, you're going to be here for a year and a half and you're never going to see the field.
Yep. You get redshirted.
Yeah.
You're going to be a 5-year college player. Easy.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
see.
dude, in this college football playoff,
You guys see the Broncos trade.
There was a-
What's that? Hang on
Oh,
now.
Okay.
We have
Some
breaking news?
Hang on
apparently.
now.
breaking news, boys.
It's gonna be Broncos, Saints, or some crap. Y'all are gonna take more of our players.
There's no way we got breaking news, dude.
But shout out
Who do
Kyle.
we got? Yeah, thank you, Kyle.
Letting us know about the breaking news. Broncos. I'll get it
check
on
it out.
the horn.
Another game I was looking at over the weekend.
They're not trading it's not them receiving a player. They just traded Baron Browning to the Arizona Cardinals.
No, that's nothing.
Yeah, he's a solid pass rusher. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense for us to like what value we can get for that because we've got Nick Benito, you got Jonas Ellis.
Do you know what
Jonah
draft pick you got
Ellis
for that guy? Probably like a 6th rounder.
We'll see. I'm
I'll
looking
take a
into
6th, 7th rounder. Actually,
They receive a 6th-round pick for Baron
Yeah,
Browning.
I'll take that.
yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
that all day
I'd take
long,
that.
dude. For
All
a player
right.
that
That's
wasn't
not a
playing,
bad trade.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd take it.
he just wasn't really getting on the field.
No.
I think he wasn't even really a big part of our pass rush. That's kind of a big nothing trade for us. Where I guess it gives the Cardinals somebody that might be able to add some value to their pass rush. And
He'll
you know,
get more
we just
minutes.
got an extra pick, and we didn't really lose a whole lot to our defense. I don't think.
That's helpful.
I mean,
Dude, you'll take
no
all
disrespect
the
to Baron
picks,
Browning.
dude.
I mean, he's shown some incredible
Give
athleticism
me the
and pass rush ability. He just
Take
never
the
was really
pick.
able to find
Give me
it.
the pick.
He was never really able to find
Tyreek
a
Hill
spot
was a
there.
6th-round draft pick too.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
game I was looking at though, boys, was Vanderbilt upsetting Auburn.
Yes.
Once
Was it
again,
really an
it's not really
upset?
an upset
I don't
because
know.
Auburn
Auburn's kind of
sucks.
trash.
Auburn sucks, but they were in Jordan Hare Stadium. They're in Auburn, Alabama. That's an
All right.
away game. SEC, that's a team that Vanderbilt's actually beat them quite a bit. But dude, I don't know how they lost. There's no
Also,
way Auburn should be losing these games.
Jimmy
no
is
way Auburn should be losing these
freaking out
games.
about something off of the camera here.
Notre
What's-
Dame, Florida State, Virginia, Army, USC at USC to finish the year for my Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and I am very afraid
Ooh,
of that
that's
USC
a
game.
tough schedule.
You gotta go play an Army in this triple option elite offense. Then you need to win. It's a neutral site game, so that's good. And then you got to
That
go
helps.
on the road to the West Coast, where we have not been good under Marcus Freeman in West Coast games. Night game, end the season, November 30th at USC. Tough. Miller Moss shredding any deep. I don't know, man.
He hasn't looked bad.
I don't know, dude. That's tough. If Notre Dame loses, obviously they're toast.
Yep.
So that's that. But USC tough. They're 15th in the Big Ten. It doesn't matter. They're 4-5. But
Yeah.
so they're beatable. But that's just a dangerous team with a high passing offense. When your offense kind of if you get into a shootout, do you trust Riley Leonard or Miller Moss? I trust Miller Moss over Riley
Yeah.
Leonard.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. So I don't know. I just was looking that up and I just reacted because that's kind of
game that was
for a
kind
Notre
of
Dame fan. I'm kind of scared.
kind
of
of
that game.
nerve wracking. Game that kind of intrigued
definitely
me.
is.
That Georgia Florida game. Man, I mean
Oh,
Georgia
man.
ended up winning by 14, but boy, they
That
did
game
not
was
look
clo- that was a
good.
rock
That was
fight for
closer than
about
14.
Carson
was a
Beck
rock
throwing
fight.
3 interceptions.
That was a real
Both
cocktail
quarterbacks
party.
forgot how to play football.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, is this guy even like your first round potential type quarterback in the draft?
What are you doing?
Like throwing the ball right to the other team.
The Florida guy.
And
This
then
was his
fourth
first
quarter.
start.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was his first start, so he kind of gets some leeway in this one. that
Yeah.
he's
I
coming
mean-
into playing Georgia
Yeah.
in a rivalry game in his first start.
on
I
the
mean,
road in Athens.
like,
And,
no
and they were
rush.
winning early.
Yeah, they were.
what was it, 13 to
I-
10 at halftime?
Something like that.
They were
I think it was
down
like
at half.
13-6 at one point, where it was like, oh man,
Dang.
Florida's got all
I
the
mean,
momentum.
Like Georgia's got to get like their offense has looked like very inconsistent this
They
year.
play down to
Oh,
their
yeah.
competition too. I think.
It's yeah.
Where like when they play Kentucky, they're like, oh, I mean, they've had some close games with some bad teams where you're like, how are you playing?
Yeah.
And then you
What-
play like a top team and like,
Play
dude, their
Texas.
defensive line, dude, when they shift, how they shift and use
That defense is elite.
is elite.
I just
dude.
think like the offense just giving the ball away sometimes that kind of scares me. Like what's your like how's that
What
going
are
to
you-
affect you
Yep.
in the playoffs? Because I mean
that's
we
how
saw-
you get upset in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean they started getting blown out by Alabama. They were able to obviously come back in that game, and
Rally.
then they blew it on that deep touchdown pass.
Uh-oh.
But
we found
uh,
more
Jimmy Covers
developing
losing it.
stories.
Georgia, 2 games, November 9th, November 16th. Tough place to play. They go to Ole Miss.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Tough place to play. Fighting Lane Kiffin's, Jackson Dart, potential first round Heisman, first round draft pick. November 16th, home against the Tennessee Fighting Volunteers.
that's a
That's
brutal
Gonna
stretch.
be a
That's brutal.
ball game,
That's
boys.
brutal.
We got to try and sneak into that game. We got to start walking now.
Let's go. All right.
Tennessee, Georgia,
We're
in
ending the
Georgia.
show. We're going to Georgia.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
going to Georgia.
November 16th, night game, Tennessee, Georgia. And then they finish with UMass and Georgia Tech, so no big deal.
UMass, dude.
But-
What is up with like these SEC
Why?
schools playing
Random
UMass?
Well, when you're playing a
UMass.
murderer's, they played 7 of the top 10 teams in the
That's
country.
fair, yeah.
I sort of need can I get a game where it's a
a
bye
break?
week,
Yeah.
a bye week game where I can play my freshmen.
Send in the,
Somebody
the
was playing
backups,
Maine.
yeah.
Somebody played Maine this weekend.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah.
Which
needed
they
it.
needed it out of
They
anyone.
they had a murder. I think
Yeah.
we ran their schedule when I first started doing the show with you boys. We ran some of those schedules, and that's a gauntlet for
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
First
Yeah.
year in the
Coming
SEC
into the
too.
SEC.
They,
They-
Rude awakening
got
for them.
screwed.
They are
SEC.
not gonna succeed. That's a team, dude. Where like you had it perfect in the Big 12. You were
Why
the
did you
number
leave?
one spending team. You could get all the NIL stuff. You have no competition other than maybe outside of Deion Sanders in Colorado, obviously, like long term,
Mhm.
right? You have your own conference. You dominate. You have you're one of the most viewed teams. Now you're off
They
of
should
your
have just
TV.
let Texas
And you're on the
go.
ABC channel with every other SEC team.
They should have just let Texas go and stayed
Yeah.
and brought in
I
a few
mean,
of the
you
other
went from being
Pac-12
like the
guys.
top, like a top 3 team in your conference every year to they're like a bottom 6 team in
They're
that,
not-
that conference.
And now you're
I-
going to get decimated with the transfer portal
Yeah.
with players that you are Big 12 players. SEC players, Big 12 players, don't care what anybody says, they're different. The type of player is just different. You look at the Big 10, pretty transferable. Like, okay. Then you look at the Big 12 and it's like no defenses. The size of the guys are just smaller. They're a little bit more faster. They play in the open field more in the Big 12. SEC, it's played in a box.
It's different.
And you're forced to play in that same box, and it's a rock fight with Georgia. You're not gonna win.
You don't.
You're just not
don't hear
Alabama,
about defense in
Oklahoma. Like
college
you haven't
in
even played
general.
them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even
You know.
hear about defense in college in general until you talk about the SEC.
Yeah.
That's where
That's a
their
defense
teams are
conference.
actually known.
I'll say the
for
Big
defense.
Ten's got some pretty good defenses.
The Big
too.
Ten, yes, too.
They
For sure.
put out some guys in the Big Ten, but it's not like the high level names and the players because they're not
Yeah.
playing those
Yeah.
games.
I mean, if you're going to draft a defensive player from a college conference, the SEC is where the cream of the crop
You
is.
can get third string backups in the SEC that are better than starters in the Big 12 right now.
Mhm.
Take
That's
away
just those
Alabama,
teams.
Georgia, and go to like Texas A&M, get a backup from there. That's who I'm interested. Like when we really get into this transfer portal, when things start shaking out with conference realignment,
Yeah.
who is going to start poaching some of those middling SEC team? Because the type of player in Kentucky and Tennessee and Mississippi is just way better than Kansas. I know Texas football gets a big rap and they get to play a bunch of nobodies in Texas high school football. But dude, I just don't see it sometimes with some of their athletes. Like they get to go to these other SEC schools. I'm like, that's not a guy. You got to go to Florida. You want an SEC player, you got to be in the South, bro. It's just
Yeah.
what it is.
That's how you do it.
The Bamas, the Georgias, the
Florida
Floridas,
dominant, like
Carolinas.
dude, like Florida IMG got blown out by, a Georgia regular high school team, on ESPN on Friday night. IMG Academy, 50, count them 50 top 150 players in high school recruiting right now play for IMG, got blown out by a 5A team in Georgia.
Yep.
Damn.
Blown out, buddy. 59-9.
They have like
rolled
the
up
most advanced
by Georgia County High School.
They're pretty much a
Georgia,
college.
Not the county.
They're pretty
high
much
school.
college for high school. Their facilities are top tier.
Yeah.
They're training these guys like they're already professional players in high school.
Yeah.
That should be they should steamroll every single high school that they play.
And they played Georgia County High School but this is the kicker. Their quarterback for Georgia County High School is the number 3 player in the country, and he hung up 6 touchdowns on them, no problem.
That's how you do it right there.
So I mean, it's interesting.
That'll win you a game.
Tennessee, Georgia, November 16th, boys. That's going to be one of the matchups, dude. This college football season, boys, we mentioned them all, boys. This is shaking up. NCAA is a joke. We can all admit it. Conference realignment, total joke. NIL, complete joke. Transfer portal, insane. Can't track it. High school recruiting, kind of being diminished because all these guys are going to the transfer portal now. So if I'm a college coach, do I want a guy who's been in a college football system for a year over? I don't know how this guy's going to translate coming from high school.
You can even get a guy you can reclass out of high school.
Another huge game next week. We got Alabama, LSU in Death Valley.
Man,
prime time, 5:30 on
that's
ABC.
Why I don't think Alabama is even going to be in the top 12 when they make this poll. Because I don't think Alabama.
I think the
they
winner
got a good chance to lose.
The winner of this game probably is like the last SEC team to sneak into the college football playoff.
I would agree with that, brother.
But I think the loser of this can get knocked out. And I mean, it could be Bama, man. The Tigers ain't a bad team.
No, they really aren't.
I mean, where I think Bama has some advantages, LSU, that loss they had to Texas A&M, they really struggled against the running quarterback runs.
Texas A&M to end the season.
One of the best.
Texas A&M to end the season.
That's going to be an elimination game right there.
Dude,
that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Carnage and chaos coming our way.
Carnage and chaos, boys.
Oh, man.
You want to hit a quick break before we got to do some top plays?
Yeah, let's get into a break. Then we'll come back, hit top plays, and then we'll take a kind of early look at what the NFL postseason is shaping up to be.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's do that.
And we'll be right back. Stay with us, folks. Don't go anywhere.
That desert sun, it burns my eyes. It burns your picture in my mind. It brings the chaos that I find. Feels like I'm running out of time. Silence of the night. I've got to ride 100 miles. 100 days on that front line. Feels like I'm running out of time. Heartbreaker, you ain't gonna
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at a Monday Football Frenzy. Till the final whistle.
Welcome back.
Military Broadcast Radio.
It's about
did
that
some
out here.
NFL week match breakdowns and all of our college football breakdowns, all the upsets, all the college football implications. College football, we're setting ourselves up for a great year, boys. We're here for it until the final whistle. But right now, special segment, we got some NFL top plays for you. College football, NFL football, top plays. We're going to run it.
Shot clock winding down, puts up a three. Bang! Here's a one-man wrecking crew. This is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Boys,
Alrighty.
we ended our last segment with college football. We're going to start this segment off with all the college football top plays.
Are a number
Duke
of good ones.
making a run. Another great catch of the year candidate. I mean, every year there's just great catches in college football. Let's check this play out.
Third down and 2. Murphy sprint right. Downfield throw. What an unbelievable effort from Jomo.
Good job.
Incredible catch.
And that was when the game was kind of close. Like it
Yeah.
was still a rock fight between Duke and Miami in that game early. Miami pulled away late, better athletes, but Cam Ward
Yeah.
just woke up in that second half. That was amazing.
Another-
Probably one of the Heisman Trophy finalists, I would probably
I'd say
imagine,
he's
along with
gotta-
Travis Hunter.
It's got to be him and Hunter, the top two guys. right? I think. I think
Yeah.
Ward's probably just ahead of him because Hunter's he
think-
missed some time with
I
injury.
think Hunter is probably the favorite right now.
Really, that's
I
interesting.
thought I saw that, bro. Yep.
Okay.
I do want to give a shout
speaking
out
of-
to
yeah.
Joe Tessitore, the commentator.
Yeah.
There. They've been giving him some time on WWE recently, and it's like the weirdest thing ever because you see like football commentators, the way the play like football goes starts off low energy and then it slowly builds up, and for a commentator. But wrestling, you kind of have to be here all the time. So it's kind of a different animal for him. He's doing a good job. I'll give it to him. But it's different to see like somebody else from a different sport come in and do it.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird to hear him say like after every move, he doesn't really know what to say. So he just says like super, and it makes wrestling sound even more fake. So it's kind of funny. Honestly, check it out. Monday Night Raw is on tonight. He was been on Mondays. If you got a chance to check that out.
Him and
dude.
Michael Cole.
It's him and who is it? It's actually Wade Barrett. Michael Cole's on Fridays right now. He's on SmackDown.
Is he still with McAfee?
McAfee is also on Fridays too, but they were on Monday for a little bit. They like to switch it around. If you got a second to check that out, definitely do. It's kind of funny. Well, let's get back into top plays. Who's next?
We mentioned Cam Ward, Heisman Trophy finalist. Here's one of his best throws of the year so far.
Ward seemingly always at the ready. Look at him extending the play, and now downfield touchdown. That is how Cam Ward does it. Right to Restrepo after doing a 360.
Collapsing pocket, and then I mean he knew a
That's
hit.
just a little
He
whip-
knew a hit was
that
coming too.
Whip action on
He throws it like that. Looks like 50 miles an hour, dude.
I mean,
he rips it.
That's NFL caliber arm strength right there.
He
dude.
rips
And
it.
I got to bring it back to like he knew he was going to take a hit there, and he stood in there and fired that thing with some velocity.
Cruise missile.
That's also NFL caliber right there. Not
Yeah.
being afraid to take a hit.
You got to
Great
know when
point,
you have to
Rick.
stand and
Great
deliver.
point.
Yeah.
You have to know.
Great point.
Sometimes it's better to run and not take the sack. Sometimes you just got to stand and
Yeah.
deliver and get drilled by a guy real quick.
Derek Carr could learn a thing or two from.
He really
Cam
could.
Ward.
He really could.
Derek Carr is scared to take the hit.
He's very scared.
All
to
right.
take the hit.
What's our next one, Jimmy?
We got some UFC fighting in college football, and this is absolutely hilarious. And I don't know why, if you're not able to do that little peanut punch to knock the ball out, if you're just going to go out there and start chucking right bombs like you're in the UFC,
Right
you're
hook,
probably
man.
not going to make it long in college football. But we got a hilarious play. We got to watch this.
Free open.
Haggins, and he takes a bomb from Maui Noah. And
I mean, Maui Noah came in with that right hand. It was like a
Duke game.
It was
Super
a
entertaining. That was a
super
great,
entertaining
super
game.
entertaining
Sick
game. You know, who would have thought a football game would have broke out during a UFC fight? Yeah, you know what I mean. But I mean, he just goes in. He's trying to punch the ball out.
Yeah.
Awful,
Smacks him
awful,
right in the
awful.
face.
He had the right
Awful
idea,
accuracy.
the wrong execution.
Awful like your punch accuracy is 0, my boy.
Yeah.
0, because
If
you
you
just
needed to
gave
hit
that
him in
guy.
the face,
I
you
don't-
got him.
I don't know if he got any ball on that punch, but
No, he got all face mask.
All
face
face
mask.
I mean,
That's a
like
broken
the
finger.
Duke player, that's obviously got to hurt, but like the guy that threw the punch, like I mean, you just punched a face mask. Like,
That's a broken
your
finger.
hand's probably jacked up.
You're
too, yeah.
stinging, dude. It's at least stinging where you're like, all right,
Yeah,
man,
you got
that is-
you're gonna have to come out the play at the
Yeah.
very least. All right.
So Georgia, Florida, and we're big fans here. If you're just tuning in, it's your first time. If you're watching our show, shout out NSS. We're a big fan of big hits because
big hits.
you got jacked up. And Georgia,
One of our
Florida,
favorite segments.
we got a huge hit, boys. This one sent shockwaves watching
Here
this
we go.
live.
Georgia fans making it loud on this inexperienced quarterback who delivers a long throw and a huge hit, and a flag comes in as Daniel Harris leveled DK, and they'll no doubt look at this for targeting. He's the replay official. Of course,
After
they're working
video
with
review,
the replay
there was
center.
no foul for targeting.
Yeah, here we go.
It will be
Playing
third
football
down
around here.
and 7.
Playing football.
Got his
It's on
boy
his teammate.
blown
Yeah.
up
Gotta make
because
that block.
you got jacked up.
And just a
For
great
sure.
example of you can still bring the boom and not
Yes,
like
sir.
cause grade 4 CTE in a
Yeah.
person. Like
You don't need to send him out on a stretcher like Chris Olave
you
did.
doesn't have to be a hospital play every time.
Doesn't.
Who's UCLA's quarterback? We don't know, but he went into Lincoln, Nebraska and ran
Dude,
rough
it's
shot.
something Garbers. That's all I know.
He ran rough shot over that Nebraska defense. Watch this.
Here comes pressure. 2 extra rushers. Garbers is going to step up and he'll pick up the first down and more. Across midfield. Garbers looking over his shoulder. Cutting it across the
Beat in the open field.
See that juke?
That was
nasty.
nice, brother.
And that's a guy like you never expect. He's a smaller, skinnier frame dude, and he just takes off. He's using his size as an advantage.
A quarterback with fear would have slid right there, but not Garbers. He made
100%.
he wouldn't have made the move and got some extra yards.
And
there.
they did end up scoring on that drive
Yeah.
to win
UCLA
27-20. Yeah, 27-20.
Yeah, they were in control of that game for most-
pretty much the whole.
I think-
Viola stinks, dude.
Yeah,
He was
so
like 0 for the first
He's got
9 on third
developed-
the
down.
hype
got
about him
development.
has kind of died down. Now he's
I
playing
think
some
so.
real competition, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah.
And UCLA,
And I don't even think
to me,
UCLA is a real
like,
competition.
Yeah.
they're going from
I'm like,
Pac-12
all
to the
right.
Big Ten. They should
true.
be getting crapped on by everybody. There's
That's
no way you
true.
should lose to UCLA as
Yeah.
Nebraska. No way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even with the young guy.
he is doing a good Mahomes impression because Mahomes has sucked this year, but like
That's a
unfortunately,
good point.
he doesn't have a top 5 NFL defense
go.
bailing him out there
Yeah,
in
he
Nebraska.
There you go.
He does not. This
Good
was a
point.
funny play. I forgot what 2 teams this is, but we're gonna watch.
Oh, Iowa, Wisconsin.
Iowa, Wisconsin. That's right.
Turned into a soccer game for a
Yeah.
second. Yeah. Wrong.
Locke stands tall in the pocket, knocked away, picked off. It is Jackson. Jackson with room. Tracked. That is pinball to the max. That is hand-eye, foot-eye coordination.
Kick, and then his teammate with a header pass back to him, and then turns back in the normal football. He catches it, and it's a
They were watching those World
interception.
Cup games at MetLife. They were able to catch one. They took some notes from the guys.
Guess the wrong type. We're playing football, not football here.
Boys,
what a
we're-
heads up play.
Oh yeah,
We're
literally.
moving
That's
on.
crazy.
We're moving on to the NFL top plays of the week. And the only highlight for the Denver Broncos in that Baltimore Ravens
Crazy highlight though.
It is
crazy
play.
highlight. Bo Nix showing the athleticism. Shout out white guys absolutely mossing a defender. Let's watch this.
Up there at the top. They got a reverse play. Sutton with a throwback pass. Caught at the goal line for the touchdown. And Bo Nix has caught his first NFL touchdown. It was Philly special.
DB, and you let a quarterback go up and high point
at
the
the
ball
goal
on you.
Right at the goal line too, where you're
I mean,
supposed to like
You gotta
be there at the you have to have set feet at the goal line and just
Yeah.
like not let anybody get in front of you.
you gotta
They showed a full.
you got a
replay
Vontae
angle.
Davis sit and
Yeah.
retire at halftime because come on, man, what are we doing here?
They showed a full replay angle of like just those two. That's Marcus Williams, by the way, the guy,
Pretty
who
good player.
head down tackle against the Vikings to make that audio clip happen. That was in our intro for top plays. So a real head down tackle from him. And you watch the play, full angle. He's standing there and has the opportunity to intercept that the entire play. Like it looks like he's in the huddle, but he ends up just letting Bo Nix go up and catch it.
Yeah.
He doesn't make a play on the ball till after it was already in his hands across the goal line. It's a little too late.
I love the heart from Bo Nix. Like, I'm covered. Like this plays a failure. He said, "No, I'm getting that ball."
Got it at the high point. That's a grab right there.
That's a grab.
See, like right there, that was some that competitiveness and that fire and that team where it's like, you know, we could have hung in there with Baltimore. We really could have. We let it get away from us and then couldn't recover.
You know who else could have won, boys? Daniel Jones and the Fighting New York Giants, but they didn't. But here's Daniel Jones' only highlight of the season. We're gonna check this one.
Second touchdown of the game, and he is end zone. Daniel Jones with a touchdown run.
Are you kidding me?
I'll just
They've
say
gotten
that.
better.
Respectable.
They've gotten better.
I think people ought to forget Danny Dimes is a big dude. He's like
He's a big
6'5" and like 240.
He's got Whopper Jr. hands.
Yeah. I mean, lowering the shoulder, and then he just stiff armed that defender into the dirt.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
One of his first touchdowns back at MetLife Stadium in over 2 years.
Oh man, that's
Almost
tough.
2 years. It was like
was somewhere.
687 days, if I remember correctly, since he had
Yes.
last had a touchdown at MetLife Stadium. Finally got off the schneid against the Commanders. He had 3, and what ultimately ended up being a loss.
So somebody that we talked about at the beginning of the year of having some pretty big potential, Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
For the Indianapolis Colts.
This was a
Tough rookie year.
snag last
This
night.
was a snag. We got a top play from Adonai Mitchell.
It's about time. That's all I can say.
Hey, he's coming from college. And it's tough. Skill
Yeah.
position player. These guys are all fast and
This Colts
strong.
offense has not been able to
Anemic.
figure it
That's
out.
just
either.
anemic.
No.
Yeah.
They
But
got
let's check
the-
out Adonai Mitchell's really good catch in this game. When it's still a close game, like a winnable game for the
Yeah.
Indianapolis Colts when this happened.
Flacco will throw the out to the sideline. Can he get the feet down? Yes. Got it. Got it.
I mean, that is sensational to catch it, first of all, and then to get that second foot down.
Rookie wide receiver who, you're coming out of college, you're used to just needing the 1 foot, but clearly the presence of mind and make sure you got that second foot down. A lesser rookie probably would have not dragged that last foot.
Right.
Catch wouldn't have counted.
Body awareness, very
Oh, yeah.
important. Jordan Addison says, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do everything better than you.
Darnold throws on the run to Addison. Did he bring it in? Yes! Great catch. Touchdown, Vikings.
Bootleg comeback across the field. And then the very next play, Stefanski said, hey, you got us in the red zone. We're going to get you the touchdown.
Great throw by Darnold because that was
Falling away under pressure.
that was a broken play. I mean, that
throws
play,
it over?
the Colts were on that right away.
Right
Like
away.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, that should Darnold realistically probably should have thrown that ball out of bounds and then just play for the next down. But
Gave his guy a
falling away-
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
gave
he
his guy a
saw
shot.
was able to have the presence of mind to see Addison's coming open, falling away. great power on it, and then Addison with an incredible.
They did show
catch.
the slower breakdown during the game, and that DB, there was 3 guys with Hawkinson, and it was just he was able to just, I mean, they just ran with him, and he just leaked out because it was that bootleg, and he just snuck away from him. It was a total busted coverage and great catch.
But with the immediate pass rush, like, okay, the busted coverage shouldn't have. And then maybe that's why he got left alone in the back of the end zone. As you're thinking, oh, there's no way Darnold's going to be able to loft this over all of us with 2 defenders bearing down on him.
Yeah.
Well, now they know that he can do that.
Yeah, he can, and he's doing it this year.
He can, and he will.
We mentioned some rookie quarterbacks earlier to start the show. One of them, Drake May, showing some signs of life for the New England Patriots.
For the game. Patting the ball. May scanning. Loads of time. He'll roll. He'll run. A sidestep. He's ready to throw. Nobody's open. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Stevenson.
That was an incredible play.
He's in the pocket for like 10 seconds, just moving around.
Shades of Jane Daniels
That's
to
crazy.
extend the play, and then your running back makes a great catch to tie the
Also,
game.
I mean, that throw, he was getting sacked.
He was.
They were taking him down. So that was across the field. Like, that was from the opposite hashes to the right side of the end zone. So pretty impressive arm power getting sacked there. So yeah, those are those flashes you really like to see. You know what? Like, Patriots, it's not been a great season, but
you're building.
You gotta love what you're seeing out of Drake May.
Yeah,
definitely.
Please, for the love of God, get him some weapons
and an offensive line.
And an offensive line.
He needs an
dude,
offensive line.
O-line.
Oh, that Patriots offensive line's one of them.
It's doo-doo.
It's
and honestly, their pass rush is just as worse because you're letting pretty much Mason Rudolph had all day in the pocket.
Yeah. Well, Judon's gone. Then you trade away Josh Uche. Like,
Mercury mentioned this
Forgot about
defense
Uche.
earlier,
He's on the
Caveman.
Chiefs now.
Mercury mentioned the Chargers' sneaky defense. Chargers tip drill, interception. We love defense until the final whistle.
Flag, 2nd and goal. Physical play for Dye. Winston slinging it near side. Batted up in the air and intercepted. Elijah Molden coming down with it. It was still.
And good job by the Chargers there.
incredible athletic play. 'Cause
In the
that-
red zone, too. That was clutch.
That, like, the vertical there, that could have easily been a touchdown. Like, good throw by Jameis, really. He lofted over the defense. He had Judy in the back corner. Like, that was an open throw that DB's athleticism made it into a covered throw, pretty much.
Jahan Dotson with an insane
This
catch.
was a
We
snag.
like catches. Let's check it out.
Hurts looking deep down the field for Dotson. Oh, and he juggled it and caught it. What a grab by Dotson. There have not been many highlights this year for Dotson, but there's
Traded for at the beginning of the year
from the
Washington Commanders division team.
He really hasn't done anything.
He's like a
but-
third. He's a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4.
When A.J. Brown and Smith were hurt, he had a good
Yeah.
week.
Yep.
And then they both came back, and like the roles were
Eagles
set.
are. I know they almost choked it, but like, I mean, that, like,
they killed him.
Barkley with
that game was
Barkley,
over.
Brown, and Smith healthy. I mean, oh my God, they're
It's a
just
dangerous
rolling.
team, dude. I always forget that they did so much in the offseason. Their team, that's like just like the Yankees or the Dodgers with a $1 million lineup. They just got $1 million skill positions, and their offense is just stacked. It's wild. Philly, man, watch out for them. We talked a lot of smack on them last year. Nick Sirianni gets a lot of hate. That's a good football team right there. They're going to be one to look out for. And once we get into this playoffs that we're going to talk about. But what's the next top play there, Jimmy?
Hey, Caveman, I have a question for you.
Yes.
The Saints did something good?
Surprisingly enough, they did.
Let's check it out,
Let's
buddy.
check it out.
Pulls the pocket, lofts it for Leggett. He makes the catch. Oh, no, it's picked.
The ball right there. Now he has it.
That
But
is
look
incredible.
At him take
John
the
Charles.
ball away. John Charles getting the opportunity today because of the injuries to McKinstry and
Jim's Caveman.
Shamar Jean
You got it.
Charles.
Hey, Shamar Jean Charles, baby. Shout
Jean
out Green Bay
Charles,
Packers.
yeah.
Shout out Green Bay Packers.
No Lattimore, no McKinstry. We got to pick. I like it.
Wide receiver
I'll
5.
take it.
Zay Flowers in that Broncos game running for his life. I mean, this guy, when he's in the open field, man,
I mean,
it's just crazy, dude.
This
watching
shows
this
just
guy.
how hard he is to defend.
The NFL is hard. And what Mercury just said, this just shows it, man. Watch this play. This was crazy. I had this on the laptop. I was like, what is happening?
Keaton on the other side.
1st and 10, down the middle, look wide open. It's Flowers again, and he breaks the tackle, and he's off to the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown.
Bigger kids that like the bigger kids don't want to like kill the little kid, but the little kid has the ball in
Just
open
running
space
around.
and just running around, dude. Like hard to bring down like a go-go gadget legs, dude. Just keeps on going.
And that's
Escape
another
from,
play. Is like
5 defenders there, just
if
running.
they
away from
held
all
on
of them.
him like just a second longer, they probably would have got him.
It's like when you're like the big kid like grabs the little kid by the arm, just swings him down by like his hand. You know what I mean? Like go to the ground, kid. No, let's go to Tyler Bass with a game winner
Here we
against the
go.
Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins.
What a kick!
Big time kick. We almost started. Mercury mentioned it before the show. We almost took the B out of his
Yeah.
game.
Took the B
Shout out to Clock Tower Grill during our Monday Night Football watch party.
Been pretty tough for the boy.
He
Tyler
was
Bass.
chunking field goals, and we were like, "You miss another one, we're taking that B away. You're going to be Tyler Ass."
That's right.
Shout out
Redemption.
Clock
He's
Tower.
been on the redemption tour
Shout
though.
out Clock Tower Grill, man. Here's Tyler Bass, redemption tour.
Wind is subsided. 61-yard try for the lead. It is. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Oh.
Miami Dolphins. I don't know if they needed a field goal to win it on that one, but I mean, obviously they did, but
Kickers are overpowered these days too. I
They
mean,
are.
dude,
just
and
imagine.
Have
like
you seen
10
these punters too, man? Dude,
e-
there's been
even like
some- we
10
did have
years
top
ago.
plays of like
I got a
special
great
teams.
stat line to show you here.
Dude.
Dude, even just like 10 years ago, like, could you? It was like almost unthinkable to walk a kicker out for a 60-yard field goal to
Right.
try to win the game. You know, unless you had like there was like a special like echelon of kickers.
Yeah,
that
unless you
would
had Seabass
trust.
for
Like
the
Seabass,
Oakland
Prater.
Vanderjagt from the
yeah.
Indianapolis Colts before they got Vinatieri because he was still in. and I
Uh,
don't even think Vinatieri had a leg for 61. Mason Crosby for the Packers, my boy.
Yeah,
He was money, but we weren't trotting him out there for no.
And then like I think like Tucker was
long
just like
50s.
starting to
He
come
was a
into the
baby.
league. So you're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You know,
Seabass, they lined him up for like a 70-yarder
buddy.
one time.
Dude,
Remember
I
that?
watched that guy in Lambeau when I was a kid pregame make a 73-yarder off no tee, and the guy holding it. And the crowd went absolutely. We were like, "What the heck?" And they showed it up on the jumbotron. Even the players on the field were hyped, even though it was just a kick that didn't even matter.
Yep.
He kicked it from our 30, dude,
Nuts.
and nailed it.
That's
I was like
nuts.
10. I was like, "Who's this guy?" This just run 3 plays and just it. You know, I didn't know in my 10-year-old head that that's just like the most unrealistic thing you could possibly tell a bunch of adults. But I'm like, that's a cheat code, right? You know what I mean? Like that's something I see in my Game Day 2000 video game.
You want
Anyway,
to see? You want to see some punting stats about some great punters?
yeah, let's hear it.
So Matthew Hayball against the Chargers 2 weeks ago, 9 punts, 437 total yards with an average of 48.6, only 2 touchbacks. So
That's landing it inside the 20, dude.
sucks we had to punt the ball 9 freaking times, but hey,
tough.
man.
Bears
It's
punter.
Matthew Hayball.
Another one that happened in the another punter stat. Maybe you guys can like look this up. During the Arizona Cardinals Chicago Bears game, 4th round punter, 4th round. I repeat, 4th round punter. Chicago
boy from
Bears
Iowa.
punter Torrey Taylor, the Aussie from Iowa, had 2 punts of total 16 yards, and one of them was just a pop up, a home run in a phone booth, just straight up in the air and straight down, dude. A net yardage of 5 yards.
What
When
the
they
hell?
were only down 13-6 in the first half.
What?
And
Let me try to find this.
It was literally a punt straight up in the air and came straight down. Tory Taylor,
What is
awful
happening?
punt. That I tried to find that on TikTok.
I will say, it was pretty fun that
last
guy,
night, but it wasn't up when I tried looking for it because it was just humiliatingly bad. And it set him up for good field position before they scored a touchdown.
in one of the Bears games earlier in the season, man, he where he was punting a bunch, he walked up to Caleb Williams and he's like, man, I thought that wasn't going to be on the field that much. And Caleb
It was in preseason.
Yeah.
It was in the preseason. He had 8 consecutive punts and he's like, you told me you were, and I knew it. I'm like, who says that? What quarterback says that? You're a rookie. You're going to be punting all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to get too far off guard.
I'm going to look for that stat real quick.
It's bad, dude. If you just look up. So there was a couple. There was a couple plays in this Rams game that are arguably the reason why it won it. The pick 6,
longest play of the season so far,
103 yards, interception return for a touchdown. Let's check this out.
Smith can't find anyone. Backpedaling. Throws picked off. Intercepted in the end zone and brought back out. Geno Smith picked off by Kitchens. Cameron Kitchens takes it all the way back.
Cam Kitchens. I just want to shout out the Rams defense. I
Shout out
started
Rams
you guys on the fantasy team. 3 picks and a touchdown. I was living the dream. My other team in fantasy, I played the worst team in the league, and they dropped 166 points on me. I played the worst team, the NFL fantasy one. I played who was it? Their team name's One Word Powerful.
Oh, that's my boy Kyle.
Literally the worst team.
He's more of a baseball fan too. He's a Dodgers fan. So yeah,
he's high on the horse right now. He doesn't care about no fantasy.
166.8.
Oh man,
bro. He had like JSN who just went off. I think he had like
Josh
Cortland
Allen,
Sutton,
Ramondre Stevenson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jackson
well, he didn't really
Smith.
do much.
Yeah, he had Cortland Sutton for 26. The Bengals defense 18.
They scored 18. Yeah, that was a tough week.
Not to be outdone in overtime. Demarcus Robinson with a game-winning touchdown, boys.
This was an incredible play.
Killer play.
Second down and 6. Fake to Williams. Stafford fires downfield. It is caught for a touchdown by Robinson. The Rams win it.
I mean, honestly, that was probably PI. Like, if we're being honest.
I thought when watching that live, I said that's a flag regardless.
Yeah.
I think they might have flagged it if he didn't just moss that guy with a one-hand.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a great catch.
Probably,
game winner in a division game when you need it most.
Ref had his hand on the flag, and he's like, all right,
we got it. It's no harm. It's over.
The game's going to go on I want to go home.
Exactly. I got a Tinder date later, boys.
Yeah.
So we got a Jatavian Sanders hurdle. We are going to show the hurdle of the week, boys, but we got this awesome hurdle to set up the hurdle plays to end the top plays.
There's a funny one here.
This is a funny one.
They go to Sanders, the tight end underneath. Leggett frees him with a block. He's got a first down after a hurdle, and then more. The big body powers inside Saints territory.
In the back of an ambulance.
Derek Carr already put Olave and Juwan Johnson in the hospital. Matthew's like, you know what? I want to go hang out with my boys. Let me just
in case you guys can't hear us when the clip's playing. You guys saw Tyrann Mathieu just tried to give himself a concussion on that play.
Yeah.
He got kneed in the side of the head by Sanders.
Brutal, dude.
Gosh.
All right, well, this is the play of the week. Saquon Barkley.
Shout out Saquon Barkley. You get the free shout out, dude.
How did you even do this? If you haven't seen it,
dead leg spin move to reverse split leg hurdle in a live football game at 6'1", 230.
That's insane.
Let's watch.
It's insane.
The top Saquon Barkley shout out. You get the top play of the day until the final whistle.
Has time. Now locates Barkley out of the backfield. Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, whipping up in the air to the 30. A gain of 14 for Barkley with some nifty moves.
The only
What are
person,
we doing?
only Peter Parker could do something like that. Are we
Right.
kidding me?
Honestly,
Dude,
Like that's like
crazy.
a comic book character move right there. Jumping over a person like that.
dude, at 6'1", 230. This isn't your like you watch the Olympics, you're seeing these dudes jump over everything. Bro is 230 pounds of human meat and muscle, and he just
Superhuman meat.
split leg in midair, 360 spin hurdle off this guy.
over another 6'1" guy.
Right.
Pretty much.
Absolutely insane. I gotta watch that again, dude. It
Run it back.
doesn't.
We gotta
It
play it
does not
again.
seem like real life that a human being can just do
No.
that. The dead leg spin move, 10
He
out of
didn't
10.
even get any
Yeah.
speed.
And then he did no speed, caveman.
This
We gotta
seems like
watch this
a
again.
glitch in Madden. Like what
Yeah,
buggy game? Like something.
Yeah.
This is something that could happen in Madden. Real life?
real life.
Are you kidding me? Roll the clip again.
Has time. Now locates Barkley out of the backfield. Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, zipping up in the air to the 30. A gain of 14 for Barkley with some nifty moves.
Statement
That
of
is
the day.
underselling it.
What are
Yeah.
you talking
More
about?
than nifty.
Buddy, you never seen that in your life, dude.
I don't know if we'll ever see another human
No.
being do something
That
like that again.
dude, his quads were bigger than the player trying that he hurdled.
6'1", 230 in full
Pads.
NFL football pads.
With no speed.
Yeah.
If I'm calling that game, I wouldn't be able to stop talking
I
about
would
that
have
for the rest of
thrown
the
my
game.
headphones on the ground and like gone streaking on the field.
Yeah. Somebody's TV speakers would have been blown out
I
from how loud
would
it
have
was.
lost
Screamed.
my mind.
Would have lost it.
Totally, dude.
I would have lost it.
Totally. I did a high school football game where a kid, like 2 kids on 1 kid at the 50-yard line, 2 safety deep, coming down on a running back, running wide open in the middle of the field. And this kid from Columbine just like went right through both of them. And I absolutely lost my mind calling that game.
Yeah.
Lost my mind. Had to mute my microphone. You know, because it went for a 65-yard touchdown. I'm freaking out. They kicked the extra point, the kickoff. I had to stop. I mean, and like that's an end up where he just did a Street Fighter 2 reverse leg hurdle over a guy to kick front kick uppercut, and that's your ball game, folks.
Yep.
Demoralization through just one play if I've ever seen it.
Yep.
Nifty. That's got to be the undersell of the century.
Undersell
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, nifty
Just
moves,
nifty?
buddy. What nifty?
Just nifty?
Yeah. What
Come
are we?
on now.
What are we doing?
Bro, you just watched like the Black Panther to like
Right.
take the football. Like, what are you talking about, man? This is an Avenger. That was
And
like
if you're the New York Jets owner that's going to be watching that highlight, not
your
good.
Giants.
I mean, buddy, what do we even?
You had Peter
what?
Parker in New York. You let him go to Philly.
I mean,
Who's Philly's superhero?
oh, gosh. And then
Shazam.
we didn't even get it. We didn't even have this clip on here with freaking Jason Kelsey smashing that
Oh,
fan's
yeah, dude.
phone. Like, how do you
Oh,
smash a
man.
phone into 3,000 pieces? You heard that? Their screen just didn't crack. I mean, he threw that phone into the South China Sea, dude, through the earth, dude.
That thing.
An unspeakable act by a fan with Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it. You
That
can go-
thing blew
we
up
won't
in the-
mention what was said or what was done.
Yeah.
But Jason
very
Kelsey
deserved what Kelsey
very-
did.
Yep,
Nobody's
very
mad at him.
deserved.
I don't
That-
think anybody's
that
mad at
was-
Jason Kelsey.
That was
TMZ is trying to crap on him, but it's
No.
TMZ.
Yeah,
is
screw
stupid.
you, TMZ.
TMZ doesn't know anything
That,
about
that's
anything.
that's the epitome of F around and find out.
Yeah,
Bro
exactly.
found out your phone shattered into more pieces than like a
Let me go walk
a
up to this
2-year-old finds their
6'3",
dad's
300-pounder, and I'm
And
gonna
like the
talk
most-
crap to him.
And like the most lovable dude, like
right.
dude,
Bro.
Jason Kelsey's like for the people, dude. Like he'll do like beard chugs with you, dude. He'll rip his shirt off and like celebrate. He's one of the boys.
Yeah.
And you're talking crap about his brother.
Right.
You're gonna F around it. That's a big dude protecting his brother and will fight
Hey,
for
you're-
his family.
Like
that
this
guy's
guy's athletic at 300 pounds. Let's go talk crap to him.
He's a
Let's go talk
9-time
smack to him.
Pro Bowler in the NFL.
One of the best centers of all time. Dude, I mean,
This
that
guy
guy's
can
just
run
lucky
full.
it's his phone that's
His
in a
phone,
million
not
pieces,
his
not
face.
his face.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That was our top plays. We got to move on.
Plays.
Caveman, we got 10 minutes. NFL
We do.
playoff
Let's-
picture.
Obviously,
We're at like halfway point of the season, boys. Who's good? Who's in? Who's out? What are some of the standings?
Well, right now, if the season ended today,
Here we
I've
go.
got your standings for both conferences, who would be in, who would be out, who's in the hunt. So right now, season ended today. Your 1 seed's obviously the Chiefs. You would have Buffalo at the 2 seed. Pittsburgh would be 3, and then Houston would be 4. Your wild cards, Baltimore, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Denver freaking Broncos
Oh,
still
snap.
in the mix with the Colts and the Cincinnati Bengals really still in the hunt at 4 and 5. The Jets, 3 and 6, technically out of it. They still, I mean, they're gonna have to really buckle down here, but they're still in the hunt. And then a lot of 2 and 7, 2 and 6 teams that
are going
gonna have a snowball's
in
chance.
the playoff picture for the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
They're in that picture.
But right now, your worst team, just in terms of like who would be the worst out of the AFC, you're looking at the Patriots, then the Vegas Raiders, then the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now let's slide over to the NFC. Your number 1 seed, the Fighting Jared Goffs, Fighting Dan Campbell's. Let's be real.
He's
7
biting
and 1.
kneecaps, baby. They're biting
the kneecaps. 7 and 1, best team in the NFC. Number 2, the Washington Commanders would be the 2 seed. They would host at least 1 playoff game there at FedEx Field. And then Big Kirko Chains, he's got them Falcons at the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals would be the 4 seed.
They're
But
going to win that division, yeah. Tampa
maybe.
Bay.
I mean, you mean Atlanta. Tampa Bay is kind of in trouble.
Bay
here.
needs
That's
to
what
get
I mean.
healthy,
Like Atlanta's probably
man.
winning that division, yeah.
Yeah. Although if you're Arizona, I don't know how being a 4 seed, I don't know how you feel about having the 6 and 2 Vikings
Right
would be coming
behind
into your building. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Right there. And then Philadelphia at 6 and 2 as well would be the 6 seed. Green Bay Packers would be the 7 seed right now. Tampa Bay and Chicago and LA and San Francisco are all right outside the hunt, all at 4 and 4.
All those teams will play each other.
Yeah,
There's still
I
a
mean-
lot of division games in NFC North to
Yeah.
shake
Right
that
now,
thing up.
Tampa is listed as the 8 seed, and then it's Chicago, LA, San Francisco. You also got the Seahawks,
Seahawks
4
are
and
in there.
5. They're not out of it. I mean, the Cowboys, if they can get it together, they're 3 and 5. I mean,
think
it's
that's
just,
a
but
team
like
on
you
the
just,
way down, brother.
yeah, and I mean,
think
like
the
you're just,
real wild card will be San Francisco to make hay.
yeah, and I mean, just looking at
second
it, I
half of
mean,
the season.
all those wild card teams have at least a 2-game lead on the teams that are in the hunt now. So I mean,
Packers have a 2-game lead
on
the
like the
7th
teams
seed?
in the hunt. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because the next,
Oh, man,
the
yeah.
next closest 8 seed, they're 4 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
But the Packers at 6 and 3. So I mean, it's like, can you keep winning?
I think we're
It's-
probably going
it-
to end up being the 5 seed if I had to guess.
Yeah, a lot of football. I mean, we're at the
A
halfway
lot of
point.
football.
A lot of stuff
This
to
is just
shake
the
out.
first of many of the playoff pictures that we're going to be sharing here.
Yep.
If you had a wild card, Mercury and Caveman, quick question. If you had a wild card who's not a wild card team right now, who's just in the hunt in the AFC and NFC, give me your 2 that you think are in the hunt that will. Because there's always second half collapses. Bad teams rise, play better.
Yeah.
Packers last year, 2 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 6, something like that. The halfway point, made a run in the second half of the season, made the playoffs, won a playoff game. Who do you guys like that are in the
AFC
hunt right now?
AFC's obviously the Bengals. I feel like they're at least gonna figure something out. They're at the 9 right now.
I would have to say them
NFC,
too.
The LA freaking Rams, dude. They got right now 22% chance at the playoffs, but the division's still up for grabs. I think they could win the division. Not even as play. Maybe another sneaky NFC one. Maybe the Seahawks.
I really like the Rams. I wouldn't sleep on Tampa Bay. I mean, Baker still put up good numbers
True.
even with Godwin
That's
and them out. I mean, it'll be. I want to see how he does against a real like top end defense. I mean, he did it against the Falcons defense, which isn't. They're
See
nothing
tonight.
too crazy. We're going to see
We'll see
tonight
tonight.
how they play against top 5 defense in the Chiefs. But I mean, like, and they're close. I mean, they're right there. Atlanta did get the sweep on them, but I mean, they're just 2 games back out of the lead. If Atlanta drops some, I will say, if the Colts can get it figured out offensively, they're a team I mean, because they don't have a whole lot of competition besides the Texans in their division.
Yeah.
They're not too far out from behind them.
They could
The
figure
thing with
it out.
Cincinnati, yeah, I mean, it's just you still got to play Pittsburgh twice. You got to play Baltimore one more time.
Man.
Yeah, like that's a real tough division there. And I just want to see who else Cincy has on their schedule. I know they got the Chargers coming up here. They do actually. They got to play us. They got to play the Broncos, Steelers 2 more
They got to
times.
play Dallas, Tennessee, Cleveland, Denver, Pittsburgh.
They've got the Ravens this Thursday night in Baltimore.
Oh, dang.
My AFC team, real quick.
It's tough.
They have to make a run too. Miami Dolphins, kind of a weak
They
ending
do
to
have
the
to make a
season.
run.
They're gonna have to make a
Yeah.
run. They only can drop one more game. 10-7 is probably gonna be the 7th seed in the AFC
I
this
think
year.
so. Yeah.
So they're gonna have to go on a run. I really like what you said, Caveman, about the Cincinnati Bengals. They're probably that team I think that can. And that's dude. If they're a 7 seed and you get Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase, that's a team that is gonna have no fear going into your building and winning. Maybe unless it's the Kansas City Chiefs that they have to play after if they win a game. NFC NFC team that's out of it right now could make a push. Really loved what you said about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was kind of like my team going in. I'm going to have to hold off right now about the NFC West because I think 2 teams can probably make that with a division winner.
I mean, I'm not even
and
like sold.
And the
with
NFC South, do you think the NFC South, because where it's going to come down to is the NFC South and the NFC West, who's going to steal that last playoff spot? Because there's going to be enough room for one of those divisions to have 2 teams.
I think you're going to have probably 2 teams out of the North.
Yeah, you're definitely. Well,
Ooh.
you're probably going to have 3 teams out of the North, plus because they're going to have the 1, 5, and 7.
Probably, yeah. It's going to be probably.
Just like last year when it was the AFC North who did the exact same thing.
The tough thing though is like you also got Philly and Washington are really rolling right now.
That's what I mean. But they'll have a division winner in the 6th seed.
Yeah, and then
then that's going to leave a 7th seed and a division winner for the NFC West and the NFC South between Tampa Bay and Atlanta and the Rams and whoever shakes out between that carnage in the NFC West.
a lot of carnage and chaos coming up for this football season too.
And a lot of these teams got to play multiple division games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Bears got to play a bunch of division games. They're still right there in the mix at 4-3, 4-4.
I will say
Green Bay 6-3.
For Tampa, they've
Really
got
nobody.
a rough stretch coming up here where they got Kansas City and San Francisco. And then after that, they play the Giants, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
That's a run.
That's not a very
Very
hard.
good.
Everyone back.
That's a winnable. That's a
Yeah.
winnable.
I mean, Godwin's gone, but Evans can return. Evans will come back. It's
just a minor hamstring injury for him.
So I mean, can you steal one against either the Chiefs or the Niners? I mean,
don't know if
you
that
could.
running game travels though. It's kind of tough to run the ball with Tampa Bay right now. With what's his name banged up too.
White.
Yeah,
Rashad
Rashad
I
White.
like Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker though.
They're
They
sort
show-
of running back by committee over there,
Yeah.
I think I would say. I don't know if there's.
I don't know.
really
And
a
Baker,
guy.
he's shown that, like, I mean, he obviously started with no Godwin or Evans against Atlanta. Again, we'll see how that translates against some better defenses. The Niners do come to Tampa. That's a very winnable game, I think, for
so.
them.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I mean, so if
San Fran banged up too.
Even if you drop one against the Chiefs, you can beat San Fran. I mean, like, your toughest competition down this stretch, the Chargers. That's, I mean, you could really go on a run there and sneak it in. You need Atlanta to drop some games to have a shot to win your division, but you got to run to make a what's the word I'm looking for? Take a stab at a wild card spot there. That's why I like Tampa Bay.
All right,
Let
boys,
us know
real
who
quick.
you think you got, though. Let us know who your wild card picks are.
Real quick,
Let us know
early
you wanna get in.
projections, Super Bowl matchup. Who you guys got?
Saints Broncos, obviously.
Give me
We're gonna get
Lions.
the Spencer Rattler versus Bo Nix matchup.
Lions, Ravens. I just want something fun.
Give me
Lions
the
Ravens would be awesome.
Give me Chiefs Packers rematch of Super Bowl 1 for
Commanders
Kansas City.
Bills. That's gonna be my real pick. Commanders Bills.
Ooh, I like it.
I like
it.
So
We will see you Wednesday, boys and girls, until the final whistle. That is the final whistle on this Monday.
We'll be back.
Football frenzy. Good night. Good luck. We'll see you Wednesday, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.